guys ready to start then?
Alright, 3, 2, 1,
go!
Let's go. Oh yeah, we're gonna need the names for Rudy and Jack.
names,
It's still...
names for Rudy and Jack are cut off now. Cecilia will be 15 minutes into the run. So, to give a little background on Wild Arms, usually, I think it was the first 3 games, you're given different scenarios that you can start the game out with. We call this the prologues, where you get to pick each character's story and play through until they all meet up at a time and join together to do stuff. So we're going to start out with Rudy for right now, but we're going to immediately switch to Jack, because Rudy gets 500 Gela and a couple heal berries just from starting out his prologue. So we're going to start that first to give Jack some extra help.
The chicken.
Oh, chicken luck!
Yes.
Yes, we got the chicken trap! Okay, cool. We don't get that often. We have to reset this part a lot, and we don't get that very often. So we trap the chicken in a barrel. Alright, so the name for Rudy, let me guess, Bagus.
Is it Bagus?
It is indeed El Bagus.
El Bagus!
Is it El Bagus?
El Bagus.
How do you
Yes.
spell that? Is it lowercase e-l?
Yes,
It's
spelled
E-
El Magus, but...
Capital L.
Yeah.
Capital L?
And then the next capital is a G.
Yeah, and then the
Alright,
rest is
okay.
so
So
L-A-G, capital.
Big G, U.S.
Sweet.
Now it's $51.99 with Bagus at 50.
Nice.
Alright.
Good start. Alright, so we got the heal berries. It only said that we had one, but we really... Alright, and I also need to set stuff up right now. If you wanna... so dash is O, except...
Oh yeah, we actually get 5 heal berries when we start.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a item set in your starting inventory. Just that Rudy gets an extra heal berry at the very start.
And the reason we want to switch to Jack is that he starts with a sword that can one-shot his enemies, and Rudy... I got confused for a second. I was like, that's not what you're supposed to do. But yeah, Rudy starts with a weapon that takes 2 hits to kill most enemies, so we want Jack to go through his dungeon first and buy the weapons for Rudy and Cecilia. And we might be running away from some encounters in Rudy if he gets good luck, but we're going to assume that he didn't. You know, we could have checked. But either way,
Yeah, I didn't check.
good to start with Jack.
Can we get the name for Jack as well?
And yeah, we'll have to
Name for Jack. I think it got sniped. It's Conjo.
Alright,
Oh,
Conjo.
Alright.
Thank you,
Vegas
French
is
community.
falling.
French community, I think,
Well,
came together on that
will
one.
be named Vegas.
Yeah. And it's just capital K, right?
K, capital K, and then A-N-J-L.
Alright,
Alright, so if you've played this game before, you might be wondering, like, if you enter the right password, does it skip this cutscene? And no, it does not. All of that happens if you enter the right cutscene. I think the door opens and then Jack still falls through the trap.
Yeah, it like
the door
accuses
opens,
you
yeah.
of something, like accused you of not really being the person
I think
that...
Jack like kicks it because he's dumb or something. It's really arbitrary.
So, yeah, we get his little intro now, just like Rudy got his intro, except he's running around doing his, and we can't trap any
With
chickens.
no regard to danger.
That's right.
Could be for it.
Yeah.
No regard. Nah.
This isn't AC, you can't skip this cutscene.
So, part of the menuing I did at the beginning, we changed the camera from, I forgot, motion view to quarter view, just so the camera stays still, and when you crit, it doesn't do this extra, like, couple seconds of animation of, like, cinematic effects, so, yeah.
Yeah, the camera will usually spin and needs to spin back into a certain space before it can start the next turn, but if you start in quarter view, it will never spin, so it saves a few seconds. Probably a lot of time overall. Oh.
We also made R1 the alternate accept, which helps us mash and helps us do stuff, so both are
Ambush.
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 Sweet!
The reason for setting those buttons will become very clear very quickly.
So I'm going to attack the balloon. Pillbugs have a high chance to run away, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Unless it attacks me, then I will worry, because they can deal quite a bit of damage. So I'm already going to use a heal berry.
Yeah, nice one.
Whoops. Okay, so Chaos uses memory curse, and I don't really use it all that much, so you'll probably see me fumble through a little bit of menus early on. Alright. Alright, so I'll probably get another encounter. Right there. Alright, just a single balloon. Jack has pretty high speed too, so he goes first most of the time before these things.
And as a reminder of upcoming donation bid wars, we have the Sicilian name coming up.
Please. Please change that name.
What is the Sicilian name currently at?
It's currently Bagus at $75.
Can't let rename win.
Can't let,
No other
Reese
name
win.
was.
Oh gosh.
is higher.
Are there any other bonus incentives for this game that have not yet been met?
No. The
Ace.
I made
Ace
sure Ace
Showcase.
will happen.
Three's using the
Got
first
that.
name.
Very cool.
There's also the spell name for Rage. Currently, Bagus is in the lead with $26, and Onette is at 20. And the spell name randomizer, currently, is it Bagus? No, it's
No.
Anger.
Okay.
Anger is in the lead at $23, with Trollogen at $9.20. So, if you want to change any of those or solidify any of the leads, your donations in.
Come up with the elementary.
I'll wait for them to, I guess, describe it. I'm so confused with all this.
Yeah.
Oh, we should keep it a mystery.
Alright, I'm going to use another blueberry because if we get ambushed by the skeleton, we might die.
I also like to remind you of the prizes we have during this block, during Wild Arms and Lunar 2. If you donate a minimum bid of $5, you can have a chance to win a punch puppet,
If he does brutal attack, okay.
and you also have a chance to win the Wild Arms soundtrack. The punch puppet donated by High Spirits, and the Wild Arms soundtrack donated by Cosmic the Dolphin.
By the way, just listening, this music is way good.
Yeah, that's
It is very good, yes.
The soundtrack is pretty decent.
The Wild Arms series has typically been known for having very good music.
Except the cave coming up has really bad music.
Oh yeah, very cave.
Well, that's because you do it like 500 times, so I mean...
We're just
No
annoyed.
matter what.
So the marathon route varies greatly from the regular route that we do. We put a lot of safety precautions. We make sure that this is going to succeed. In the regular runs that we do for this, we throw caution to the wind, no safety saves. We just basically count on everything working. So we can't really do that for a marathon run. So we start out with Rudy and keep staying with Rudy, and then we run away from every single battle in Berry Cave. So that's why we reset so much and get annoyed with the Berry Cave music.
Yeah, to give you guys an idea, the luck stat in this game affects your runaway rate. I believe at best luck, it's like 60% or something.
And 65%.
Yeah, so
best
but
luck.
these guys don't check it when they do their speed runs. So it's just, well, if it's worse luck or whatever, we're just gonna still try to run away. And basically, at this point, they basically don't really get out of the barricade that often.
Yeah.
So
Berry Cave, when you start with Rudy, you can get either bad, normal, or good luck. Good luck in Berry Cave is around 60, 65. Normal is probably around 55 or something, or 50. And bad is like 40 to 45%. Does that sound right?
Yeah. It drops by 10% every luck you drop.
So it's never impossible to run away. It's just
yeah, it can work 100% of the time if you believe.
yeah. All you gotta do is believe.
if you
gotta keep
believe.
running.
Is it always the same percentage chance to run every single round?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
it doesn't increase the chances if it fails a bunch of times. Unfortunately.
All right, so that's Jack's scenario. If there are any donations, now's a good time. If there's not, then
If
Let's
not,
see if any haven't been processed. Oh yeah, they haven't been
yeah,
processed.
yeah, go ahead. It's about a minute here where we don't really do anything.
We have a $21 donation from Odurier for the Failmaster Conjo.
There we go. Thank you.
$5 from Phalix One. Nice to see both Anchor and Andy sporting those Maverick colors.
God.
Put this towards the hand cam in Secret of Mana. We have $10 from VBSRL. Hey RPG Limit Break crew. It's great to see the two best runners of my favorite RPG speedrun playing the game in a marathon. Good luck with all the crazy tricks, Anchor and Chaos. Who knows, maybe someday I'll start running this myself.
Please do.
Put this towards Bow Voices in Lunar 2 because I saved this for you, Infidel. $5 from Clear Cardinal. Wild Arms Love.
it's good.
That's what-
So we're taking Jack back to Adlahide. He's gonna buy.
Look at it.
At
When you-
some
when you-
point,
Before.
When you get out this encounter.
I should just run. Hellbugs have a high chance of running away, so finding a single one's kind of dumb. But Jack started out with bad luck, so we'll just slash the fool. Okay. So yeah, we're going to Adleheim. We're going to buy some items to set up Cecilia and Rudy for their prologues. I'm going to sell both of Jack's equipment to help cover the cost. So we get the longsword for Rudy, the magical rod for Cecilia, and the white robe also for Cecilia. Then we'll buy 11 heal berries and 1 medicine.
Don't worry about it. I'll pick one up.
Okay. Chaos will pick up a medicine in the sealed library.
And prop shots go.
Alright, and now we switch back to Rudy. So Jack's done. So now we get to go on with Rudy. We were about to go to the mayor's house, so previously on Rudy's prologue.
Alpagus.
It doesn't look right.
Alright, so this information will come in handy later. Just remember that this mayor gave you an unlimited supply of bombs. This will come in later after the first boss of why this is really dumb. So the running mechanic for Wild Arms is really what helps us break it and do things with the run. To dash, we're holding down O, which kind of charges a run, and then it'll dash out, and we keep that dash until we change direction or we let go of the button. So we got to keep it held, and this really helps with the game later on and to help us show why it's broken.
Yeah, it's really broken. And it also makes the movement pretty interesting because you gotta kind of turn as little as possible. When running in like an RPG, it just is your movement speed like ×2, and you have the same like movement. But in this case, you can't really change directions unless you want to go slow.
Yeah, this is true with all the Wild Arms games actually up until like 4.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
Yeah, they all have this charge and then running mechanic. And in, I believe at least in Wild Arms 3, the charging and the running mechanic, like if you just keep doing that charge pose and then you start running, it actually increases the encounter. So movement in Wild Arms games does actually have some science behind it.
It's very scientific.
Yes.
Very technical. And
You can bounce off walls, you can run into things, chickens or make you fly backwards. All right.
speaking of running,
Uh-oh.
it was a segue.
No, we're gonna run from this. This enemy has a lot of HP, and it takes like 3-4 turns to kill it, so we are not going to. And now we want to stay at level 1 for Rudy, just because the boss that he fights has an attack called Rotten Breath, which deals damage based on percentage of HP. At level 1, our HP is at 75, so we know Rotten Breath's going to do 15, so we can plan accordingly whether we need to heal or not.
Yeah, it always does 20% of your max health, so even if you level up, it'll do more damage. And
Yep.
after 5, it'll always kill you. And his regular attack also does 15, but if you equip the bandana, it will end up doing 14. So ideally, he does 2 rotten breaths and 1 regular attack, so like you get an extra turn without having to heal. Yeah, directions are weird in this game.
Yeah, well, sometimes I let go of the D-pad when I'm going diagonal and it goes off to the right. Alright.
Blame the controller.
We have $8 from Cosmic the Dolphin. Man, I love Wild Arms. I woke up just for this. If everyone watching donated some money, Nami would get more money. And I may be paying for shipping to send you a CD, so donate, unless I win my own prize.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I followed along now. That's the person that put up the OST.
We also have a $25 donation for
Oh.
Runner's Choice.
You have to specify which one.
We'll switch off. Oh gosh.
Whichever one's active.
Yeah, you're fine.
Chaos, you can go first in picking which donation is with runner's choice.
How much is it?
$25.
Let's put that towards Cecilia being named Chie.
Oh gosh.
And I'll put everything towards it's our
In the hope of not having Vegas.
Or what would you want to put it
It's too
towards?
late.
Yeah, next time it comes up for me, I'm gonna put it towards Secret of Mana controller cam.
He's on to Vegas.
Alright. Traitor. So that was
It's
pretty
alright.
scary. Getting that battle with the 2 goblins is pretty scary just because they deal 11 damage each, and if there's 2 of them, we have to be careful, especially if we're not going to run. Did I get the one here?
No,
I don't think you will.
Okay.
I think you got it.
First up.
Nope, I don't get it. It's good.
Alright, so Rudy here has the power to control something called ancient relic machines, otherwise known as arms, which is what
Would you say they're wild?
Oh, I believe so.
Ho ho.
Um,
You gain +1 in punning power.
Michael?
Yes. I saw green, so I assume you are.
So, which ancient relic machines basically means guns and stuff. So, for this boss, I will be using Rudy's arms to defeat him. We'll be using no lock-on strategy, which means that we won't lock on to the boss, since there's something in this game called force power. Force power is a kind of an extra thing. Kind of think of it as IP with Lufia 2. The bar builds up over time, except in Wild Arms, as the bar builds up, your stats have a minor increase whenever they go up. So if we don't lock on, which lock on uses FP to use, our no lock on shots end up doing more damage, and it can result in about a 7 or 8 turn zombie fight.
Also, the lock-on animation takes forever.
Yeah, the lock on animation adds time.
It's like 89% chance for each bullet to hit.
Yeah, that's the important thing
Assuming
about
like,
lock on.
percentages are accurate in this game, which I don't know.
Alright.
So, for those of you that are wondering about lock on, in every single Wild Arms game, that ability basic.
I forgot the name.
Oh, Chie?
Chie.
Like the Persona?
It's CHIE.
like the Persona. But that's what I was saying. Lock on basically ensures you have 100% accuracy, and in most games it increases the power by, I think, 25% or something. I don't know if that was the case in Vanilla though, which is 100% accuracy.
Yeah, so this doesn't raise attack like in the other Wild Arms games.
Yeah, so they're trying to avoid it, even if it means that it'll miss on occasion.
So yeah, you'll notice I did a regular attack, so he actually has 31 HP. That means 2 rotten breaths won't kill him, so he gets an extra miss. And
There's the miss.
So now
I need a counterattack with a crit. Nah. Oh,
Counter crit?
I forgot we have a weapon, so we're gonna do a lot more damage.
If you're crazy, you don't heal.
Come on, counter again. Dang it. So,
Shoot, then heal.
so that condition green above our head means that our FP gauge is filled completely up. Condition green will erase all status ailments except for Berserk, I think.
That's a stats bonus.
Sweet. So we missed that shot, but it doesn't seem to matter too much because we're getting counterattacks in. Kind of makes up for the lost damage.
Yeah, you can miss one and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You can miss 2 kind of. Probably have to reload it if you miss more than one.
Yeah. Alright, I think the next one should kill him. Or it should. Either one.
That's
Yes.
800
Cover all your
HP.
bases.
Alright, if I counterattack here, this is as good as done. Okay.
Okay.
If
now
I
you're
hit.
gonna be embarrassed.
If you
Yeah.
Miss.
Alright. He's dead. Yay.
Chaos jinxing his own
No, I'm rooting for you.
You're on my side. So, that's the first boss that we faced. And as we will see, the villagers don't take too kindly to this.
They turn on you.
So the kid that we came to save is incredibly impressed, but everyone's like, oh my gosh, you possess an arm. It's a forbidden power. And so the hypocritical mayor's like, hey man, we're gonna have to judge you, but I just gave you an unlimited supply of bombs that never go away. But that doesn't matter, you have a gun. So we go back to the village to get judged, and I think it's gonna end well. I don't know.
It's very important to understand the plot for the speedrun.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you don't need to worry about the plot at all for this speedrun because you'll find out later. Don't worry.
it'll be important once we get to the parts where we have to literally make stuff up.
Yeah,
That will be impressive.
yeah.
In
So,
Prop Theater 2000.
so that was a pretty good buried cave. I got in a couple fights that lasted a little while, but whoa,
You're alive.
Yeah.
yep, we made it out.
Didn't get killed by
Game
goblins.
didn't crash. So
Nope,
Game did crash.
Game did not crash. So funny story.
we lost 2 systems.
We lost 2. Chaos brought his system from all the way
I
north.
had a PS3 using the PSN version, and a practice run earlier today died when the PS3 just shut off and gave the dead blinking
So I was
red lights, which apparently is a bad thing.
Yep. That
And then we
chicken.
tried again and it kept doing it.
So I brought my PS2 from home, and I was like, hey, I brought this as a backup. We can finish on this. So we tried to do another practice run, and it ended up soft locking. So this is our third
I'll cut
system
off
that we're
the,
using.
So we were able to complete a run with it, so we're going with it.
Yes, Cecilia
Oh,
should probably be doing
Oh
that.
yeah, Cecilia's
Cecilia's
done,
coming
and we
up.
did not
Yeah.
make it.
Because
Yeah,
we're
and
about to start
Vegas
the
this
last
Friday.
one.
And after that, if you want to read donations, you should be golden for that.
Yeah. Because there's a bit of a cutscene loading up.
Let me refresh real quick to make sure that.
Right?
Why am I mashing? I always mash this part.
I was not sure.
You will mash if you're playing auto
Gotta
combat
keep
because
your
you
fingers
have
a
to
little bit.
keep mashing to make all this text go away. But I wouldn't give to play the Japanese version and just use turbo.
Cecilia's still.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out.
Alright, we should get one encounter with Rudy on the way back, which looks like it just happened. Oh gosh.
More goblins.
It's the worst one to get, just because... Well,
Goblins.
it's not the worst. These guys die relatively fast. They're just annoying.
They make weird noises.
Yeah, they make kitty noises. Listen to the sound effects, please. Yeah, that was a meow that you just heard from a goblin. There will be other things later on, like these big bulking things that will make meowing noises too. I don't think we hear those in the run,
As
but...
I was saying, I think Rosansha would be excellent at making sound effects for this game. Yeah, there you go. See? That was almost perfect.
Alright, now we switch to Cecilia and Chaos will take over the...
Yeah,
Right.
so the co-op? Yeah, that's right.
Chaos.
I was gonna say chaos. I was like, yeah, the chaos run.
The Chaos?
Chaos room.
Yeah, the co-op run will basically revolve around me controlling Cecilia and Anchor controlling Jack. He controlled Rudy because I didn't want to do Barricade. And I'll take over Rudy when
When required.
he joins Cecilia's party.
Yes.
And Cecilia's name is in fact Vegas.
Yes.
Is it Vegas?
Vegas at $75.
Rip
And
Chaos.
save them all.
Rip
Can
Chaos.
blame the LCC and rename.
She was the best of us.
We'll try.
Oh, you're back.
That's on only 14 big chunks.
A new record.
I have no idea what you did on because I was sleeping, but congratulations at only 14.
Thank you.
Just be Vegas. So I guess while this cutscene is loading,
No,
I
it's a
guess-
mystery.
Chaos doesn't want me to explain the joke, but I feel like it'll be better for our audience to understand why he's very against this. So we had a mumble chat one evening, and he was trying to remember the names of the two assistants in Tantalus in Final Fantasy IX, which, if you remember, are called Bonero and Zanero. But he couldn't remember their names, and he just called them Vegas repeatedly. So that just kind of became an in thing within the Wild Arms community. So he's not very happy about this.
I don't know what you're telling me. I've never heard of Vegas before.
That is a very feminine name.
Vegas?
Vegas?
Yeah.
It's the bro name for Vegas.
Yo.
It's alright. I changed Rudy's name to El Vegas for you.
Vegas seems somewhere.
Vegas.
Vegas.
So here we have Cecilia, a girl who is 25 feet from her home but hasn't been back in 10 years to study magic. And she gets to go back and never talk to her family again because we take her away to somewhere else. So she has a real good...
She does some head bobbing.
yeah.
It's like talking without seeing like the talk bubbles.
Excellent job
That's
with
the
the
extent of the family meeting.
with the
Yep.
plot improvisation. I really like it.
Yeah.
So movement's cool.
Yeah, so we have to, this is what we're talking about with the dashing thing. We have to, anytime we want to dash and change direction, we have to let go and move a different direction, then start the dash back up again.
And if you hit a corner while dashing, if you're close enough to the corner, you'll kind of go through it. So you want to kind of cut corners as much as possible.
Yeah, and
to save
another
frames.
thing to note that is if you dash diagonally against the wall, sometimes you would just be kind of able to slide along the wall without having to worry about it, and that could potentially save some inputs. So there's obviously good movement and bad movement in this game as a result.
I got all the apples. Okay, so you in Rudy's prologue, you saw me get 3 apples, and yeah, I believe I saw myself get 3 apples.
You did. You got 3 apples. I only have 1 here though. But,
Yeah,
I got really
and
confused.
Chaos just got a mystic apple. Those apples are going to be pretty important. We only have 1, but that 1 will be more than 1 later.
yeah.
And so as far as what Chaos is doing now, there is a set thing that Cecilia has to do before we enter her first dungeon. and it's a very square-like movement. We go from up to the top, and then we go down to the right over here, and then we're going to go all the way back around in a square pattern to the magic shop. But we'll be doing events along the way. So he's going to pick a crest graph up here, which for Wild Arms is your way of getting magic. You go to the magic shop, I guess, and you choose between white and black magic. And when you go into choose white and black magic, there's going to be kind of a grid. There'll be columns and rows that'll match up, and different combinations will get different spells. So that's how the magic works in this game.
Yeah, you start off with a flame spell, but you want to bind the free spell because it has a 4-second shorter animation and does the same amount of damage against the boss.
You guys want to talk about the pocket watch as well?
The pocket watch that we just received from what I used to think was a bearded person, it was actually just a person wearing like some head thing.
Accurate.
We basically it turns back time and lets you redo things. It's kind of like the reset spell in Lufia. It lets you. This game is very puzzle based, but
You can say it's a ripoff of Lufia.
Yeah, this is basically Lufia 3.
Lufia with apples.
This game has a lot of puzzles in it, which won't be kind of apparent during the speed run. There'll be a little bit of puzzles, but during the course of the game, if you're playing casually, there are loads of puzzles in every dungeon, and the watch that we get helps if you mess up.
Yeah,
I believe
basically
it's
a reset button.
Yeah, I believe it's actually used for a couple of puzzles in the normal, like, glitchless version of this run. But, well, you'll see.
Mostly
I
if
won't
you mess
spoil
up,
it.
I think.
He's dissolving heal and flame, which will give us 3 crest graphs. Dissolving a spell will give you a crest graph, but erase the spell. So we're gonna bind freeze. We're gonna bind blast, which hits a group of enemies, and we're also gonna.
Syncing up with my binding. Oh, wait, you gotta wait. Now you can say it.
And then we're gonna get escape.
There we go. See, you're synced up.
And escape gets you out of a dungeon, but it'll also help us later on in, I guess, in a different way.
Save here just in case something bad happens.
Yup.
We have a $5 donation from Karen Sanders 918.
Whoa, that's my wife.
Oh, nice.
Win.
She's watching.
Win, and I like your orange shorts.
Did you say win?
Yes,
Oh
win.
my gosh, what a nerd.
She's telling you not to destroy someone else's PS2.
No, but thank you, waifu.
Knock on wood, everyone.
We have a $5
totally
donation
fine.
from Enchanter Tim. No comment.
No comment required. We thank you for your donations.
Oh, yeah,
Nice. So, Teardrop is Cecilia's first spell. Basically, all it is just to get through dungeons and like use it in weird spots to advance stuff.
Yeah, you can think of it as kind of like Zelda's Lullaby.
It has
Legend of
a
Zelda.
very important role in the story, but not in this run, except for just progressing through dungeons.
It does make a bunch of particles on the screen, and you can tell your position out of bounds, but they didn't really plan that.
Yeah, it works for us, but not for this.
It's a glorified key, mostly.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna enter our first dungeon, which is the sealed library.
The sealed library.
It's the one they didn't want you to know about.
But why?
Because
I
it
wonder
has a book
why.
monster in it.
I wonder why.
So we're gonna progress through this dungeon. We're gonna burn books because literature never helped anybody. We're also gonna fight books and also gargoyles. So
It's a great commentary.
so he gets the medicine which cures the disease status, which those said gargoyles can inflict on us. They're not named gargoyles, but that's just what I'm calling them.
Gagisons.
Gagisons.
That's probably
yeah.
how you pronounce it.
Gagus?
Yeah, the Gagisons.
No.
Gagus?
The disease
I don't know
status
what you're
doesn't let you. Oh, sweet! That's the perfect battle to get. Level 2 Cecilia is something that we want because it really helps progress the boss battle without having to use a heal berry. Level 1 Cecilia, there's a chance to have to use 2, and we really don't want that. So getting 3 books there, they have the most. They get the most experience, and they're in a group of. They're in a group, so blast will work. Alright, so yeah, that's just a small example of a puzzle in this game. We run diagonally through here because if you run straight, Cecilia bounces off the books and then the the dialogue starts, but we just want the dialogue to start immediately.
Yeah, so that's one of the cases where the diagonal running comes into play, as I was mentioning a bit earlier.
Actually,
So-
it sets your stopwatch point to where that dialogue pops up. So if I mess up the book throwing, I'll start slightly closer to the books if I have a stopwatch.
So this,
Oh, well, that's a nice additional effect.
this battle's okay if we don't get hit. Okay, so the books don't do freeze, but this will take 2 turns because we have to use Blast again on the Gagasins. They are immune to ice. So these guys are annoying because they sap your MP.
Yeah, because Blast takes twice the amount of MP as freeze,
And if
and
you-
also a regular attack won't kill them in one shot.
We have a $5 anonymous donation. Shout out to Anchor. Been playing Wild Arms together since we were kids.
It's my brother.
Who would have thought that you would totally master this game when we first played at Funko Land? Proud of you, man.
Thank you, Peter. That's my brother. He's the one who actually owns the PS2 that didn't work on. But yeah, a kind of funny story. Oh, jeez. So this battle sucks just because it's going to take a guaranteed 3 turns.
Yeah, it'll
And
take
now-
3 to 4 turns.
and now we
because,
can't heal.
I can only use Blast once, so I have to hope I build enough force power to kill this second.
That book used to
Gagasin? Yes.
the book you slow down, which doesn't really matter right now as far as speed goes, but the animation takes forever.
So what's the effect of having disease on your character?
You
You-
can't heal.
You can't heal, yeah. So we get that medicine to be able to.
That counter.
Yeah, sweet. So you can just do a regular attack next turn.
Oh, definitely.
Oh. But yeah, kind of funny story. When I first played this game, it was in Funko Land when they would let you like swap out discs at will and like let you play whatever you wanted that was in the store. So my brother and I put Wild Arms in, and in Rudy's prologue, if you notice the houses in this game, you can immediately just run in them, and the roof kind of disappears. Well, I didn't know that, so at Rudy's prologue, you start out in that farm, but we thought the entrance to the house was actually just a brick wall. So we never went through it. So we wandered around that farm trying to figure out how to get the heck out, and we never figured it out that day. But when we ended up getting the game later on, we figured it out. So that is not a brick wall. You can run through it.
So you might have noticed I moved the magic carrot down, and I did something weird after buying the spells where I moved an empty slot to an empty slot. That empty slot actually had the crest graphs that were set to 0 because I used all of them up, and I'll actually be duping on those slots later.
Yeah, so a little bit about the slot. So yeah, when he moved that slot, when we arrange items and nothing takes its place, instead of the game saying like this item doesn't exist in this slot, it'll have that item, but it'll be a 0 instead of a 1. So technically, that magic carrot that he used still exists, but it exists as a 0, which will come in handy later on when we do something with
It's
those.
the same item ID, but the quantity set to 0, so it doesn't show up. We got level 2 during the sealed library, so we're able to kind of just spam freeze on this guy. We could set out a battle, but I had a practice run where it came precariously close to killing me, so I was like, I'm just gonna play it safe with the old blast him with freeze until he dies. No big deal.
Yeah, so since we got level 2 Cecilia, we can just spam freeze and win the game.
Otherwise, it would take 1 or 2 heals, and we probably wouldn't have to go this way because we have enough HP.
Hopefully.
And
Like
if we do have to
counterattack?
heal, we'll drop below 24.
Yeah. So next turn.
Probably kill with this next blast.
Yeah, next turn if it doesn't, we have to heal. So brutal attack sucks just because it deals a little extra damage, but also the animation time's longer. Alright, so he's dead. So this will be the end of prologues. So soon enough. Wait, I don't know how to use this prologue.
The real Wild Arms begins here.
Yeah, so prologues are done, so you may think this is standard fare for now, but we're about to do things to this game that will make you and your mama cry.
Yeah, your childhood's about to be destroyed. Let's just put it very bluntly.
Yeah, basically, after this point in time, you're supposed to form a party of 3 and pretty much stick that way to the rest of the game. But we're going to form a party of 2 and leave Jack on his own, so we'll keep the co-op dynamic.
Yeah, the party mechanic is actually what kind of makes the route that they're doing possible, because In all the Wild games, after the prologue, your team is supposed to assemble together as like a party. But in Wild 1 in particular, you're supposed to manually meet up your characters together. So what they're going to do for the route is they're going to combine 2 characters together and leave one behind.
Yeah,
Normally,
to complete Lilithia's tomb, you need to get all 3
Yeah.
to Emma.
Normally,
But in this case, we can just use 2 people to go out of bounds using the character switch OOB.
yeah,
But we can see that a bit later.
they will explain it as it comes along. But that is part of the reason why this run is possible, is because of the party mechanic.
Yeah.
We have a $10 donation from SNES today.
See?
Don't choke any battles tonight, Anchor. Also, it's a crime that you aren't wearing orange on orange on orange.
I know. I contemplated wearing my orange T-shirt. That's bright orange.
How am I supposed to stay up without that incredible glow keeping me up?
Well,
We'll have incredible commentary. That's the solution.
yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And a $25 donation from Posse. This donation is to name Frog and Chrono Trigger Glenn, because the true name is the best name.
That makes it
Didn't
weird.
you want to ride that?
Alright, so yeah, prologues are basically the part of the run that we kind of dread the most and are trying to find ways to work around because it's pretty standard fare and boring.
Yeah, you only run this game if you want to do a lot of weird glitches, so the prologues are pretty boring.
Sweet, and you got a no encounter run back to Adlehyde, which saves roughly 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's good. And now we have to talk to Emma to set the flag to allow party recruitment. And both of our parties there, but we only want one.
Alright, are you gonna get the stairs clip? Oh yeah. So, we were going to see the other use for the pocket watch here. You probably saw it
Yeah,
while we were in the Abbey, but it'll transport you to the... right now, the current place that we entered was the entrance to the town. So instead of running all the way back to the front to recruit Rudy, we're just going to use the watch and go back to the front.
Yeah, it's like the 1 or 2 times we use it or something.
In this route.
Oh wait, 3 times. 4
Isolated
times?
guild.
3 times, yeah. 4 times, yeah. There we go. It's very important.
So we're getting paid a measly 500 Gela to go save everything in the cave to the north.
It's alright though, in ACF they increased this to 5,000 to account for inflation.
Good.
So we get El Vegas to form the Vegas party.
Alright, so
And to bind, I actually bind that button to triangle because there's a weird thing that's coming up. Where to go out of bounds we need to use the character switch menu on the frame that we go over a door frame.
which slot did you put carried in? Was it
The
8?
one's right below
Okay.
We have a $5 donation from Kellum Rules. Hey, I'm watching too. Go EnkerBlues.
Oh, that's...
that. And this is the first OOB.
Thank you,
Instead of talking
Kellum.
to
I know
Yes.
who you are. So, whenever you go through an entrance, which is usually the case, there's some specific other cases, but when you go through an entrance or a door, you're projected out 5 pixels away from that entrance. So what we do is move 4 pixels down, start the running animation, and on the first step of the running animation, we switch characters, which allows us to go out of bounds. Sweet. So we just went out of bounds and went down, to the left, up, and then to the right, and it zips you back in bounds. So you're going to see us do that quite a bit in different areas. Sometimes it's really tricky to get because you don't know exactly when the run animation is going to start. So this is one of the things when you start to pick up the game is kind of hard to learn is when that happens and when to be in the exact right spot. So he got it there.
Yeah, I just picked this up yesterday.
Yep, and he has world record. And we're gonna be
category.
we're gonna be doing this again in another. Ooh, this is a really good fight to get for our blast.
That's better.
So what we're doing now is we're gonna be underflowing all those 0 slots. Hopefully he doesn't kill you next turn.
Yeah, no, already healed that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Vegas, who Vegas?
So we just duped a bunch of apples, as you'll see in the next screen.
Oh yeah, I forgot to switch up. Now we're duping them.
Now we're duping them. So
I got worried about dying.
how item duplication works is usually for people who have played this casually a long time ago, the original way was to have your 3 characters in the party. You had to have one of an item. You had to use that. You had to use a healberry with Rudy, and then you had to with Jack switch the healberry over the item that you want to duplicate. Is that right? And then use it? No, 2 people use it, and then that last person switched.
Yeah, you use 2 heal berries, and the last person in the sequence switches the slot, so it negates 2 from 1. So it goes from 1 to 255. And our modified version is negating 1 heal berry from an empty slot, which is a quantity of 0. So it goes from 0 to 255 because the way unsigned integers work.
Yeah, so we get an underflow, I guess, is the way to correctly sum that all up.
Yeah, they call this the fast dupe because to separate it from the old method of duping. Some interesting history about the Wild Arms run as it is. So the out of bounds trick you saw them do earlier, that was initially discovered, I think, by Lord of Ultima when he accidentally got into an encounter on the last ring he possibly could, getting through the door, which allowed him to go out of bounds, and that's kind of when this whole madness started occurring. When they first started doing this run before, the run got really developed to the point where it is now. They used to do the slow dupe, and there was no out of bounds. I think the run was like 5 hours or something.
Yeah,
so
5.5 hours was the first big run.
So this game has come a long way now.
Yeah, current world record is 138.27.
Alright, so this is why he had to set the buttons to be confirmed.
He's using R1 and X to mash the apples to increase the stats. He's not going to increase Rudy's stats all that much just because we're not going to be using Rudy that long, and we'll find out why.
Yeah, he only has 1 battle left.
But Cecilia, we definitely want to increase her stats as much as possible. Hardy Apple, we got down to 2. We're going to be performing something called the performing something called the shop dude.
EO shop dude.
Excellent British accent.
So we leave 2 of an item that we want to duplicate further, and as you can see, he's currently mashing Mystic Apples, but there's already a stack of 1 up there. That's the one that didn't get glitched. So we sell 2 of a glitch stack as long as it's below the unglitched stack, and when we sell 2 of it, it creates 255 of the unglitched stack. So we can keep replenishing our apples for as long as we want.
All praise the almighty apple.
Yes,
the Lord and Savior of this game.
Sweet first try.
Nice.
Easy, man. Easy every
Easy.
time.
Getting better.
So we're doing something weird. Chaos is doing something.
It's a co-op run.
Yeah. Chaos is doing something that he dubbed the same map. So when you go out of bounds, right now we can't do anything besides go within the same room. Well, this map is special where on this map there is an entrance to another room within that map. So we'll be blindly going into an entrance to the final area of the dungeon, second to final area of the dungeon, through that door. And so we just we'll be skipping every single puzzle, every single battle that we need to skip in that area.
Yeah, because normally you can't get through this dungeon without having all 3 characters. So even if you went out of bounds normally without doing some of the tricks they're doing right now, you won't be able to progress through the story. So what they're doing now just kind of skips all the puzzles.
Looks like it, right?
So he's checking his location because you are doing this blind.
There we
Okay.
go.
So he went through the same map, and now we're in the last part of the dungeon. The old way that we used to do it is we would go to another room, we would go out of bounds, and then back in again, and then just finish the dungeon the rest of the way. But this way is a lot faster because it negates maybe 1 or 2
Yeah, I
battles.
kind of messed up my position, so I had to back up with the teardrop.
Yeah.
And then you move down slowly just so that you can get back up there.
So here's Magtortoise. It's a boss that I've been trying to skip, but it's impossible.
Looks
to.
like a statue then.
Yeah. And he's not that hard of a boss, you have to put blocks on him. No, but this is just another puzzle. You just push blocks on those slots, and it'll open up a door, and we fight the boss. So now that we're really overpowered, this boss really is not much for us at all. I think it takes 2 turns to kill it. Kill the demon.
I equipped it.
Oh, okay.
What's our time at?
It's 44:40.
It's not bad.
Good enough.
Or it is bad.
Well, you have to remember prologue counts for almost 30 minutes of the game. So you can't skip it.
Yeah. So Cecilia casts freeze, Rudy attacks, and then hopefully on the next turn, Cecilia will kill with the freeze. If not, Rudy will do the second hit and finish it up.
So
This
just
should go.
as a little bit of a description
Boom.
of what the itinerary is going to look like. So this is basically, if you thought this was already kind of weird, it's about to get a lot weirder.
Yeah. So right now all we've done is out of bounds. That's child's play to what?
Out of duplication.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
out
item
of
duplication.
duplication, out of bounds. That's all well and good for breaking it, but we haven't even begun. Nice. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface of how broken this game is. Because you're thinking, oh, they're just gonna go through this game one-shotting all the bosses and going out of bounds. Technically, you're right, but it's not gonna be every single dungeon, as you'll find out.
There's actually a really hard trick coming up. It's basically the same trick I've been doing, except the consequences are much greater. You
Yeah.
lose 30 seconds every time you miss it, and in our run we don't even have a safety save, which we would normally use.
Yeah, because
or
if
use during this marathon.
basically the next skip that they're going to be trying to do, normally there's a plot battle and a bunch of cutscenes I think that has to occur.
Yeah, it's like 11 minutes.
Yeah, if you try to
just
do it
from
straight,
the
it's 11
final
minutes.
cutscene.
So it's worth resetting almost every time.
Yeah, and I don't think the run's even completable if we do it. No. Actually, I think there's an old version of the route that we did.
Yeah,
There probably
I
is.
saw you
Yeah,
did
but
one.
those that skip, yeah.
It's just not as efficient anymore because
Yeah.
you used to not even think that you could skip that battle. So.
And there will basically be a trigger where I exit Adelheid and I have to use out of bounds character swap to go over that trigger and then escape Adelheid. And if I mess it up, we're gonna have a safety save so that I can try again.
Yeah, we'll have to watch a cutscene and then we'll load a save and try again.
And to do the out of bounds, we bring up the character menu as you saw. And this this game runs at 60 frames per second, and you gotta get on the exact frame that you start the run. So it's a bit tricky.
Do you guys want to talk about the different add-ons? I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah, Jackson Adelheid 1, and when we go back to Adelheid, it'll actually be Adelheid 2. It's weird.
So the state changes. Like when we go back to Adelaide, we'll have different music. There will be a festival.
Yeah,
And-
there's actually a bunch of different cities, even though they all look the same.
Yeah, even though they're all called Adelheid, there is like Adelheid before the festival, Adelheid after the festival when it's destroyed, and Adelheid during like the Demon's Raid. So there's actually different Adelheids in the
And based
game's
on where
memory.
you are in the plot, this will direct you to a different Adelheid, which in this case is 2, so it's fair Adelheid. And so Jack will no longer be there. But before we continue, we actually are going to do some shop dipping,
Yes.
which is debatably a good time for donations. You can try it.
So just a warning, but when you do that, it's gonna be really loud the whole time. When we mash, we're mashing loud. So
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah.
We can try it.
Yes,
We have one more donation. $20 donation from Claire. Shout out to Chaos from Claire and Dave via Windmouse.
Might be this system.
Oh, okay.
Or a coincidence.
And as a reminder, there are still upcoming bid war in this Wild Arms run. The spell name Rage, currently $26 of Bagus and $20 of Onet. And the other donation bid war is the spell name for Randomizer. Currently $23 at Anger and 9.
Thank you.
And Trojan is behind, is second at $9.23.
So notice last time you took the stack down to two per stack. Why take it down to just one?
So
this
we
time?
need a 1 stack of 2 and 1 stack of 1. The 1 stack comes before the 2 stack, and we sell 2 from the 2 stack. But because the 1 stack is before the 2 stack, it will negate 2 from the first stack in the item list because it doesn't expect you to have multiple stacks because no one would item use.
And that 2 stays. So that 2 that we sell never goes away, unless we mess up. So we sell 2, but that 2 stays the same.
Yeah,
But the 255, we just keep it down to 1. Yeah.
just more underflow.
Yeah. So Rudy won't get any more apples. Cecilia will get close to max bit. She will max her sorcery because all her damage is dependent on that. We got her res, which is her agility basically, and which decides like when you go, because we want her to go before certain people later on in the run. Jack, we won't worry about res. So when we go through this game, we can be really underleveled, and that's why we're blowing our stats up to such high proportions, is we're going to be incredibly underleveled.
Now, what effect does Vitality have on your character?
It's basically defense points. It'll reduce physical damage, which Boomerang gives all the physical, and a bunch of Luciad's attacks are physical, and they're the biggest problem fighting the run for Cecilia. I'll do a bit more. And we get an item later on in the game that basically revives you when you die, but you can only equip it once per turn, so if you die twice in one turn, it'll be more good enough.
And as a reminder, if you donate a minimum of $5 during Wild Arms and Lunar 2, you have a chance to win a Punch Puppet donated by Night Spirits, or you also have a chance of winning the Wild Arms soundtrack donated by Cosmic the Dolphin. So get your donations in if you want to win those.
After the safety save for...
After
After Bowser's. So there's Cecilia seeing her dad, and she just basically like inflates herself and deflates herself to talk to him, and then she's off to not see him for a long, long time. It's a great relationship they have. So they threw a festival because we found a giant machine. So now we're gonna go to the festival.
several.
Yes. So we're gonna go to the festival. We're gonna buy a flower. We're gonna find someone's lost son, and then all heck will break loose.
Yeah, basically at this point in the game, you have to talk to the mother of a kid with a red balloon, and she's like, "Find my kid." And if you talk to the kid with the red balloon, it starts the invasion sequence where Belzout comes down and destroys that hive. Then you have to fight it. Belzout to advance the plot. But instead of doing that, we're gonna do the Belzout skip that we alluded to.
For that small flower that we just got, that one small flower will raise your luck up 1. Luck's going to be really important throughout this whole run, so we're going to duplicate that to 255.
Oh, what the heck is that? I'm not cooling down.
So luck dictates in part to your your chance to run away, but it also influences your critical rate, which we'll be using for Jack in a couple battles. And then there'll be a spell later on called Randomizer, where luck is basically like necessary to do good. Because if you have really bad, so there's worst, bad, normal, good, best luck. There's 5 types of luck. Best luck, while using Randomizer, has a really good chance of using an attack that will deal 9,999 damage
Yeah, 60% chance.
to multiple enemies, and then it has decreasing chances to do worse spells. But when you have worse luck, the chance to do bad spells that could either harm you or your party, or in our case, end the run, are a lot higher. But that does not mean Randomizer is completely safe for us to use, even when we do have best luck.
Yeah, just a bit more information about Randomizer. The way that spell works is, when you cast it, it goes to a general list of spells that's available under Randomizer. So there's what they call different tiers of spells that can be cast. So there's A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. I believe all the A tier spells are the ones that do, like, 8 times the multiplier or something like that. It does a lot of damage.
They do about times 20.
So you want luck to be maximum for that purpose.
Strangely,
and
the B-level spells do times 80.
Yeah.
But there's some B-level spells that you don't want, like anger.
Yeah, like anger.
Anger, oh my gosh.
So that's why luck has to be. They want luck to remain very high for the duration of this run. That's why they bought the small flowers.
Yeah, I'll switch to you to say. And because we buffed Rudy enough, he can survive this battle. That's the only reason we need to buff Rudy.
Yeah, usually at this point, Jack and Rudy are together to fight this battle. to save Cecilia.
But since we know Crew Jack is free and he get
Yeah.
absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, Jack's in an alternate dimension where Edelhard is still standing.
Yeah, so keep in mind the state of this town. It's on fire, everything's crazy, and people are dying, and we need to go save them. Well, we're gonna do the heroic thing and run away.
Yeah. Then the town's gonna reset to normal.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, now we're back in normal happy Adelaide, where nothing's wrong. Too fast.
Triangle's character.
Nice, 47. So, we switched to Rudy, because whenever we try to pause buffer, it won't switch to another character, because we have to hit up. So we'll have to get... So it's nice, easy every time.
Wow.
Basic-
You're getting this
Yeah.
every time. Very
Oh.
consistent now.
That-
Alright, I
that-
don't have to do anything.
That's hard just because of the pressure we build up for it, is because if we miss it, it's really dumb, and it...
Oh,
Oof.
oh.
It's really discouraging if we miss it. So,
Okay, now you do the shopping.
okay. So I'm gonna switch the buttons.
Yeah, so just a reminder about that. If they miss the skip, they'll have to reset, because doing the actual portion of that is like 11 minutes, so there's no way.
Yeah, it wastes 30 seconds every miss.
Yeah.
Start.
Which is basically just the time you need to reset, so...
So I'm gonna save it since you finished that.
Good call.
So yeah, you'll see us safety saving a lot, just because this run is very just dangerous and.
And we went through 2 systems. So
Yeah, we went through,
Yeah.
we went through 2 consoles.
It's quite glitchy.
I think was there leftover Hardy.
there should be power in this.
So you saw me switch the buttons to square. That's just the way I match. Chaos likes to use R1. But I'm more of a square guy.
Yeah, we need to buff Jack as he'll be joining the final party, and he also has some fights that he has to do solo before we get the Goat Dogs as well. And he actually doesn't want to use the Goat Dogs for both those fights because he actually uses a force power called Sonic Vision, and if you die with a Goat Dog, it gets rid of all your force power. That's a weird mission. You need a spoon.
I use spoon, indeed.
That's really interesting. You should do that last.
I was good for 400. I'm gonna do that.
So there's gonna be
45.
there's gonna be a couple of techniques
I
that
guess that works.
that they're gonna be
Seems unnecessary.
doing that's coming out.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So Jack only needs Hardy and power, because everything else for him is useless. He can't really do anything with Mystic except for like magic resistance, but there's really no case where he needs magic resistance. Because by the time that he could need magic resistance, we have Goat Dolls to negate every death.
Now, are you going to be maxing both of these stats to 999?
We're getting bit to 850, and we'll be buying the Blue Wind in Rosetta Town, which basically makes Jack good for the rest of the run. But we will be getting power. Numbers.
Yeah, you can always use more strength.
Yeah, so his strength will get to 999.
Yeah, so if you're an expert master at this game, you can gain a lot of time in this
Yeah,
portion.
seriously, because I'm terrible.
No,
You
you're great.
can probably save like 20 seconds on
Good
me.
to take breaks every now and then.
Yeah, hey, no problem. Oh.
Match faster.
Uh,
You guys want to talk about the tricks that are upcoming, since I do believe it'll get quite complicated very
It'll
soon.
be easier to explain after it's happened.
yeah, we'll explain after the
It's
cutscene.
really abstract
There'll be a 3-minute
concept
cutscene
before it
afterwards.
happens.
Yeah, there'll be about a 3-minute cutscene afterwards. We can explain it then.
It's better if it overwhelms you when it since it doesn't really make sense.
It's very sudden.
We're building up the hype for this because it's well worth the watch if you've never seen an any percent noise run.
Yeah, so for people who have played Wild Arms, just get ready to not know what the heck's going on.
We should just not do it.
Yeah.
Just do glitchless the rest of the way, but you already do dapples.
Just raise the estimate by 6 hours. I'm tired.
We're almost done with
Well,
this.
you're mashing
You never
all the
have to mash
buttons.
No, I'm gonna take a nap.
So you're taking this one to 850?
Yeah. Because he should be pretty good on guys.
And now we have to move both parties to Mountain Pass.
So yeah, we don't have to do the Bell Soak skip with him because there's no Bell Soak and
Yeah,
Jack's
Jack's still
safe.
Natto Hide 1, so no invasion. And we're going to be switching between the two characters to reset the step counters. Basically, every step you take, it adds a number, or adds up in a counter, where if you cross a certain threshold, you'll get an encounter.
Did I say
You've saved before.
it? Okay.
It's too late anyways. If you re-enter its invasion, it's
Nice.
So he crossed the threshold. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So if you take too many steps without switching, you'll cross the threshold, which means every step you take, there's a chance you'll get an encounter. And that's what happened. But if you get an encounter, it also sets your step counter back to 0. So that's the game's way of trying to not get too many encounters in a row. And because the counter's back to 0, you can just keep going.
Whoa. Okay, tools.
Yeah,
Okay. Keep on an exit.
Oh yeah,
that.
you just did that for the match.
Okay.
And I can continue because the step counter won't cross the threshold by the time I get to Mountain Pass. And there's guards here where if you don't do the Belzoak fight, they won't let you through, so we're going to do the guard skip here. Where both parties will actually be existing in the same dungeon, but we won't see each other. But
Yeah.
even though we don't see each other, they both still exist, and Jack will be set up so that his hitbox still remains while we can't see him, and the guards will now push me back, but Jack breaks my bounce back so that I can actually just pass him. Cool. And we unequip the ring.
Yeah, right. After
Trip
teleport.
off a rock first.
Yeah, so there are rocks that can trip you up. Alright, so the tool we're about to get is called the lighter, which is Jack's tool, but Jack didn't get the tool. So you'll see 2 Cecilias and a Rudy, but the extra Cecilia is actually what we lovingly call Hollow Man. Not yet.
Huh?
Oh, we have to do it. Never mind. You're fine. Okay. No. Alright, so what you saw... No, we'll explain in the cutscene. We'll explain. There's just too many things that happened just now.
That's why I told you maybe you should have preemptively explained this, just because.
No, it's fine.
This is Hollow World. The world that Hollow Man sends Cecilia to. I guess
It's the secret
Did you
bonus
read
dungeon.
basically what happened is we picked up the lighter with someone who's not Jack, and the lighter belongs to Jack. So the game's like, Jack's supposed to have this. Here, have this empty character. But as you can see, the character actually has equipment on, which were all a bunch of like heal berries and other things. The head and the rune slot on Hollow Man refer to the first and second slot in the party menu. So unequipping the rune will send whoever's in the second slot back to the dungeon that they were in previously. But for Cecilia, she's a special case, where the dungeon she was in previously was the L world. Now this may seem like a really cool trick that just got us a little way, but actually we just skipped 75% of the game. We skipped 75% of the dungeons, we skipped 75% of the towns, the dialogues, the puzzles, everything that goes with that. We skipped 75% of the game, just with that little the trick there.
And now Rudy's arm has been cut off because plot.
Yeah.
And so Rudy's going to leave the party, which is actually important because later on when Jack recruits Hollow Man, if Rudy is still in Cecilia's party, Rudy and Cecilia will join Jack's party for some reason.
Yeah, remember everything that is in this route is basically relying on the fact that the team never meets up together. So if that happens, the run is basically over.
Yeah, so now that we have 2 separate parties, we can do something interesting when we're going out of bounds called character switching. So as you saw when we went out of bounds in Lolithia's tomb, we had to basically re-enter the room from the same room. We couldn't leave the room and then wind up in another room except for the same map. But with character switching, and this works similar to Earthbound in a way, it's based on your XY coordinate. So when you go out of bounds, you can go anywhere within the dungeon on the XY. So basically what we'll do, basically what we'll do a lot is basically just go to the coordinates of the last room of the dungeon. We'll switch characters and switch back, and that'll load the map that we're on.
Yeah, so they call that, I believe it's the camera switch.
Camera switch,
Yeah.
camera switch or character switch or something.
We call it whatever, we make up a new name every week to confuse people.
So that's why we like to have 2 separate parties now, is to be able to load those maps instead of having to find the same map and to have that going.
Yeah, it makes a lot of things possible, especially if we didn't have the camera switch, we wouldn't be able to do anything. Especially with, after the mountain pass, there's a sand river where there's a monkey that blocks your way. You need a wand to talk to the monkey to get through it, but because of the camera switch, we can actually go out of bounds and go to the final room, which is conveniently located directly below the first
like
room.
a couple steps below.
And that's true in a lot of cases for dungeons.
Mhm.
It's
Except
like
for
they
us.
designed, I don't know how they would design the maps, that would always happen. But
Yeah. But another thing is you'll probably wonder how we'll end up going out of bounds if we only have one character in each separate party. We'll be getting an item later on that opens up a window when we go that extra pixel beyond the load zone, and that will get us beyond. Oh yeah, do you have any donations to read off?
We do have one donation here, a $20 donation from Snowfire. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple a second keeps Siegfried a mendicant.
Thank you, Snowfire. Shoutouts to other people, members of the RPG DL if they're watching. That's the other forum that I tend to. That also plays a lot of role-playing games. So I did tell them about this marathon before it started. So it looks like a few of them are tuning in.
And even though we skipped it 75% of the game, the only reason we wanted to do that was to get to Rosetta Town to get the game going, which
Yeah, and
Anker
important.
alluded to. It's the way to get out of bounds without having multiple characters in your party.
Yeah, an
by
important,
using it.
important thing to note is that even though they skipped 75% of the game, because they're missing a lot of the different items that you're normally supposed to have, some of the places they can go may be kind of restrictive. So the remaining portions is just kind of to get through the rest of the game and towards the ending while having these restrictions in place.
That's right.
So to do that, they do need the item called the 1 Gala coin, which I think is actually supposed to be 1 Gyno
Like
coin.
7,000.
And that will allow them to do a whole bunch of other bound tricks that prevents
You're right.
some of these restrictions from happening. And there's going to be more tricks coming up, but the Hollow Warp is, I think, one that was well worth the price of admission.
Yeah, and so with the regular route, we don't-
Incidentally, what's the name for Rage? That actually needs to get cut out.
Alright. I'll be first that right now.
I forgot about that.
The spell name for Rage is indeed Bagus.
nice.
Word for a second.
Good, Magus.
So we're gonna get Protect, which helps with the boomerang fight later on, which Protect raises your magic resistance. He also got Awaken, which raises your party from sleep and lasts the whole battle. So you can cast Awaken at the beginning of the battle, and anytime anyone casts Sleep, you'll get inflicted with the sleep status, but you'll instantly be out of it again. And it lasts the whole battle, and it covers the whole party. Yeah.
Yeah, so that just prevents them from being incapacitated, basically, from several of the bosses later on, because they do have status effects. And sleep, in particular, is really nasty because it prevents you from really being able to take any action, which wastes a lot of time when it occurs.
Alright, so now we start Jack's journey, which the main purpose of his journey is to get... Okay. I think I was on it, but the point of his journey is to get the boat. And the boat plays an important role in this run.
Yeah, everything that happens next is just to get the boat, and it's a very long process, but it ends up being worth it. There's another way to get the boat other than defeating the ghost ship, which is the normal way. Or if you enter Tri-Pillar, which is a dungeon that you can only access via a boat. But if you get there any other way and you exit, it assumes you already have a boat, so he'll give you a boat automatically. But there's no way to do that currently.
Yeah, so remember how I said earlier that a lot of this is kind of getting around the restrictions. They need the boat basically to cross water. Because that is one of the things that they can't quite do yet, but with the boat, they'll be able to pull off some fancy tricks with it too.
Yeah,
So what
there's
you so what you saw there was I went out of bounds in the mountain pass and ran to the left, which I know is the area that is the last area of the dungeon. And we'll be doing the same in the same vein. We'll be doing it in the Sand River.
These dungeons go back very quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah, now
Boring,
that
so it's easy.
we can do camera switching out of bounds.
There's the monkey.
The monkey skip.
Finally. It walks a big portion of the game, or it makes you do a big portion of the game just because that monkey's there. And we tried a lot of things to get past it. And when
Nice.
we finally got this, it was pretty
Nicely
great.
done.
Thank you. So now I just walk down a
Now
little
we
bit.
completed another dungeon.
Look at that.
And the good thing about those dungeons is that the first rooms don't have step counters, so there's no chance of getting encountered. I'm playing my important role in the co-op run. And even,
Oh,
you
sweet.
didn't go far enough down.
I didn't go far enough down, so I ended up going down the stairs into the previous room, but doesn't mess with anything. I can still get out. So I just finished the Seine River in a couple, like maybe less than a minute, which it usually takes a really long time.
The
Don't
next
worry.
dungeon's a bit more trickier.
Yeah. there's
So
a-
yeah, so the whole reason Chaos probably wanted to co-op run is for this next dungeon and put me on it.
That barricade.
Yeah.
That a berry cave.
We're about to enter what the game calls Pleasing Garden.
We also call it that.
So Chaos, explain to him why the Pleasing Garden is so cool.
Well, the Blazing Garden's cool because it can spawn in certain set points in the desert and it's completely random. And after an arbitrary counter or timer or whatever, it'll switch positions. And so we'll have to wander around the desert randomly. And I mentioned the step counter. If we wander around too much and cross that step counter threshold and get a chance of getting an encounter, we want to switch back to Sicilia. That wastes a lot of time.
Alright, the only way I'm getting close is the map zooming in like that.
And that tells you that you're close, but already moved.
But it already moved away, so I have to try
So
one of the
just
other
looking forward
preset
to it.
locations that it could be.
And you actually have to go out of bounds at the entrance of Blazing
Yeah.
Garden, just like the other dungeons. So if you fail the out of bounds there, you exit and you have to find it
You
all
have to
over
go
again.
do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're inside Pleasing Garden, there's some out of bounds tricks that has to be done. That's not as straightforward as the ones that were beforehand.
Hello,
I
hello,
never
hello.
mess up.
Hello,
That's
hello, hello.
right.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Alright, so
Sure,
we're gonna save in the Pleasing Garden.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah, just so
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna move the barrels now.
yeah, well after I do when I do the switch to get the grapple.
Yeah.
Because I know how to do the grapple. Did you just see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
55 to 50.
Yeah, kind of went up.
Alright, so this is down. So I basically have to know how many
That was 4.
that was for.
You can find it.
Ah! There's no indicator in the Pleasing Garden how far you move down.
Because it's all just. If you were really good at looking at sand, you could
Yeah, if you're really good
find
at
a really high res TV. This TV's pretty high res. I wouldn't be able to tell from mine.
Damn.
You were.
I was too. That was a 4.
That was good.
Nice.
So you didn't mess up.
Alright, I might try finding it again if I
It
don't.
should be up. Oh, nice.
Maybe.
Down, down, down,
Okay. All right.
It's really quite interesting because in Alter Codex, this dungeon is actually not randomly spawned,
Okay.
but they don't have that luxury in this case. So this is the one time I get to laugh at them.
And this is just as tricky as a Bell's Oak skip, and about the same amount of consequence, maybe a bit
What?
less.
That wasn't 4.
Maybe your buffer. Maybe
It
if you
did-
turn around using the tool buffer, it doesn't always.
Where is it? Okay.
And you're
I'm
trying
getting
to-
pretty lucky. That usually does 2 every time.
It's weird. Yeah, I know that didn't move any. You need to do it from I didn't know you could turn around with the moving pictures. There you go.
All right. So we
That
got out of
was-
bounds. I'm gonna move way to the right and then go up. So we're gonna get to the coordinates that have the grapple hook.
And when he picks up the grapple hook, you'll get Hollow Man again, which means Cecilia will be warped to the L world because of reasons.
And we
So I
want
actually need to set up Cecilia's position in the L world because I'll be in the same XY position as I currently am in this town, and I want to be able to get back to a place where I can return to this world.
since
So,
we don't have the teleport skill yet.
yeah, I gotta move to these barrels over here, which the tasks dude found
Yes.
is the best spot to be
We used to park ourselves down by Muriel's house.
because I didn't do much research.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, I got the grapple. So now we gotta get the bracelet. I was gonna do that.
Did you explain why you needed to get the grapple?
You need the grapple hook to beat the ghost ship.
Yeah.
There's
Basically.
no other reason to pick it up.
Yep.
And the reason you need it for the ghost ship is that the camera switch glitch doesn't work there because it loads the entering the ghost ship cutscene every time you switch back to Jack, so you can only do same maps and same rooms.
They have to pick up an
I don't
extra
know,
item
Sonic
in the Pleasing Garden because, based on the plot anyway, they're supposed to
RNG
retrieve
manipulation.
a bracelet for I guess an Avenger who asked him to pick it up for him. So you see Anchor picking up the bracelet right here, and now they're done with the dungeon. So
What
you
time
can't
are we
just
at, by
skip
the way?
the.
What's the
What time are we
Oh,
at?
the time? We're at 1:14. 45.
45, yeah.
Seems like it's going pretty smoothly so far.
We haven't done like any huge mistakes. So I guess that's about right. So we're gonna go back to Ship Graveyard, and we're going to force the dungeon that gives us the boat after we beat it.
Yeah, so afterwards they can cross oceans to remove some of those restrictive barriers.
Should I save after this though? I can save on the cruise ship.
We should be fine. And so in the Go ship, there's one out of bounds that we do that saves a bit of time. And it's actually pretty obvious, though it wasn't found for like 2 years, and some guy, Gear Eater, yes, messaged me on Twitch, and he's like, I'm new to speedrunning this, but why don't you do this? And I was like, oh,
We should
I
probably
guess
do
we're
that.
dumb or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious once you look at it.
So Bartholomew is the owner of the boat, but you guys didn't know that because we skipped 75% of the game.
Yep.
But he owns this boat.
It's a big boat.
Yep, and we always come to his rescue. You guys remember all the times that we came to his rescue? You guys remember that, right?
Even
I
though
remember
we
that.
did it-
Yeah.
I guess we did it twice.
We can,
He was that random villager we saved.
yeah. So now
Back
we're,
somewhere.
now we're gonna go on the appropriately named Go ship.
We have a $40 donation from Kanjo.
Yeah, Kanjo.
This marathon is amazing. The French restream is amazing. You're amazing. Thank you for everything.
And thank you, Konjo.
Kanjo rocks. I think he's commentating this run on the French restream.
Happy you're enjoying the show.
So if we switch to Sicilia at this point, it would soft lock the game and you wouldn't be able to continue.
So that's why I liked. That's why I first wanted to use the tool buffering for moving pixels or to avoid that exact situation.
So how precise of a trick is that to...
It's a 1 frame and
Yeah.
60 frames.
Okay.
You can. It's frame perfect, but there's no punishment for pressing the menu too early. It's only if you do it too late that
So-
will mess up.
We found our use for the grapple. That's it.
That's it. That's all they need to grapple for.
0 encounters, so hopefully you don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, they also need to do that dungeon to set up the.
Otherwise, you get 2 encounters if you went through the whole way, so it saves a good amount of time. At the expense of Jack not leveling up at all, so his HP is a bit lower than usual. And, okay. So we buff his vitality more than we used to survive the upcoming fight, and we also buy armorette. Go
Oh,
up. Oh yeah, because I had
Fully
50
brown.
armors.
Okay. Alright, so basically I'm not going to have to do anything during this fight. We have him on auto battle reserved, which he'll just fight the whole time. Unless he gets to really low percentage HP, then he'll heal. But we won't need to bother with that.
And auto battle's faster because you don't need to go through the menus, and it actually loads the next.
Counter, yes! Counter
Nice
crit! This is going to be a good battle then. We got the counter. So Stun Cloud is the reason we have the full Libra. The full Libra is the ribbon. I guess in the Final Fantasy series you have the ribbon that negates all status effects. That was really fast. That was a really fast battle. Holy
Start
crap.
doing that.
Yeah. Holy
Stun
crap.
Cloud will have inflicted, I believe, paralysis.
He didn't use Banishing Anchor once, did he?
Which, if it hit, would have
Regular attack is
basically
50%.
prevented Jack from acting for several turns. So
And we
But
can,
that-
equip goat dolls and
Yeah.
we won't be able to get condition green fast enough. And
it just basically saves a lot of time because they buff their defense to the point where they won't be killed, but getting paralyzed is just like a nuisance.
yeah, it's really dumb.
And right now, Adohide's still in the invasion state, but there's a crew member that's about to leave in the next cutscene. And because he goes to Adohide, it actually advances Adohide to a post-invasion state. And yeah, he rebuilds some of the houses, and so he pretty much gets rid of those outposts, which is good because we're gonna want to go to Adelaide
Yeah,
pretty much immediately.
It's important because the black market doesn't open up until the rebuild phase of Adelaide.
So I guess if we were doing a plot MST of the story, we will say that that repairman single-handedly defeated the demon army.
Yes.
He's that good.
Yes.
His name was Tom.
They told him the entire story.
So this next section will be interesting for the co-op run because we're going to be constantly switching between Cecilia and Jack with our own little duties. And during practice, I completely messed up, so it'll probably go all right.
It'll go.
The game hasn't
okay.
frozen, so I'm
Yeah.
more than happy with how it's gone.
It's been
so
an
far.
hour in and we haven't frozen anything yet. This is a real win for us right now.
You have to be hard.
Low standards.
So as you notice, we've been doing a bunch of safety saves and all this stuff. This again, none of this stuff happens in the actual runs that we do. We're doing everything dangerously because we're wild boys.
Wow. Never say that.
Okay.
Or you can just don't say it like that.
Yeah.
That was very good reading.
All right.
Don't move up.
I wanted to so bad. I've been going back in the boat and then pressing pause because then Cecilia can get there and you can glitch out.
I suppose that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That stump sucks because it gets in the way of us just running straight.
Keeps you from not paying attention.
Yeah. Alright, so now we get to the part where we set up the end game. The whole point of this is to get the ocarina, which helps us summon the golem. And then we get higher level magic spells like Randomizer and Saint. And we also...
So I switched there just to reset the set counter.
yeah, we didn't want to get an encounter.
It's
So
pretty much the last time we... Well, actually, And so the next trick is called boat duping. When you land at a beach, the boat's position is set there, so if you never land, the boat's position never leaves the beach. So even though I look like a boat, I'm actually just Cecilia. I just changed my sprite.
And so the boat's back here because he never docked at a different beach. So I will ride this back to ship graveyard.
And when we switch back to Cecilia, she'll be in the ocean. And when you're out of bounds, like when you're in the ocean as a person, it'll force you down and to the right. And so, because I was positioned to the right of this place, I was able to get here. What's the name for a randomizer? We actually have to do that.
I believe it's
Let me
bitch,
refresh that real quick. See if
big
there's
goal or
anything
big
that
choke.
Change.
should be anger. Yeah, it's anger.
Anger.
You always make me nervous when I use anger.
Yeah, so we're just getting higher level magic now. Saint will be used on Mother and on some of the last fights because it does decent damage without the risk of randomizer.
Of randomizer being randomizer.
Yes. So this is named Anger because randomizer.
Funny story.
Yeah. Anger is basically a spell that can be cast when you cast randomizer that ends our runs because we faced the last bosses with only Cecilia, and Cecilia is a terrible physical attacker, and Anger basically berserks Cecilia with it berserks Cecilia and you can't get out of berserk.
Yeah, they basically can't
So it takes
recover
20
from
minutes to
that.
finish the fight. If
Yeah.
Cecilia's angered.
It doesn't help that they don't use any power apples on Cecilia because there's no port normally. So if they get angered, the run is basically over. And what's the chance on it again? It's like
It's
one.
like 1.7%.
Yeah.
It's 2 probabilities. You have to roll a B-level spell and get that B-level spell specifically from the B-level spell list, which is about like 12 different spells.
I thought you said it was like 15% because you guys had to use randomizer
I
like
have
6
the
times.
accumulated odds.
Yeah, accumulated odds are about 15.
So
So
we get the Ocarina here, which lets us summon a golem. Which,
Yeah.
through normal play, you actually unlock earlier in the game.
I hope you guys
Like
remember
going
that
through
we
a
got a
whole
goal in
dungeon.
this game because we totally did.
Yep.
And we use it a few times, actually, because it acts as a collision that we can use to trick the game into thinking we're out of bounds, because if you're within a bunch of collision boxes, it will try to force you back in bounds, so we kind of use its hitbox to go through mountains and whatnot.
Did you talk about why you need teleport as well?
Oh yeah, teleport.
Helps us teleport to towns.
Thank you for the very insightful knowledge there.
Well, it helps Cecilia get back even though she doesn't have the boat.
Yeah.
So, and also it... Ooh, nice.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
It's like 4 pixels.
Oh. No, you got it! Holy crap!
Look weird
So
on
he
that.
basically just opened up the menu after running and got right on the zone of past the load zone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, that time.
Yeah, it was a good number, I think.
Alright, let's see if Chaos can count properly.
Answer is no.
So I'm gonna go in.
This is why your estimate's generous because of this section.
Yeah. There you
Oh,
go.
I got
Oh,
it.
nice.
Oh, wait.
First try.
You're far to the right, probably.
Yeah.
So to be able to come, oh, nice. To be able to come in from out of bounds, you have to come in from the left. So what he did is he actually went too far, so he had to go down, left, up, and then right to get back into the load zone. So this is the black market where they sell really good stuff. What we want is the goat doll, which revives you after you die, and you can equip those.
That was cool. Did you see? No, don't worry about it.
You can equip those every single turn. So we're basically invulnerable, except for one fight where we can die.
Well,
Yeah.
they're invulnerable for like 85
Yeah,
times.
you
but
can only die once per turn, but Cecilia's going to be fighting 2 bosses, or 2 bosses at once.
Yeah,
so if
2
they both
enemies.
kill you in one turn, then it's game over. So that'll be fun.
By the way, that trick is kind of dangerous because if he mistimes it, he can potentially soft
Oh
lock
yeah,
the
I was
game.
doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
which is
Chaos
how
was
I
doing
timed it.
his method of counting, which is to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really
You
quickly.
move around 5 seconds, which is what the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of is. It's like 1.1 seconds if I do it right.
So now we're gonna go to Arctica, which once we beat it, will force the cutscene to raise the final dungeon of the game. And to do that, we're gonna do another. That's really close.
Crazy.
We're gonna do another thing that
Crazy
can
trick.
basically soft lock us. So
Yeah.
we go from one soft lock situation to another.
A pretty hard boss to me.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay, we got it.
nice. So we're just messing around with the golem to basically jump past these mountains.
The
That's what
golem's
I
gonna
figured.
punch us.
None
Yeah.
of this game actually makes sense.
So I'm gonna turn around and run with Jack and we go through the
Yeah, we
mountains.
did it.
So yeah, we use the
Nice.
hitbox of Cecilia and the golem to
So he's gonna go back to Adelaide and save.
get
Get
those
this.
mountains. Oh, okay, I thought you
Yeah.
meant the place. Because it did the same fate others had
Yeah.
done.
We have $20 from Sight of Dawn. Taking bets on how long the last boss takes.
I'm more concerned with Boomerang personally.
Yeah, but Zeke Tuvai, in a regular run, Zeke Tuvai can last a really long
Yeah.
time because he casts status effects, he can heal himself for 9,999, and we can end the run by casting anger on ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can
So-
go from 2 minutes to 20 minutes if you're very persistent and want to finish a run that's never going to PB. Like us. And this timing's pretty tough. You gotta go 5 seconds down, 6 seconds right. Oh, but you have weird timing for
Yeah, I
it.
do 3 seconds to the right, 3 seconds down, and 2 seconds to the right.
Yeah, so about this skip Anchor's about to pull off. It's different. It's similar to the one Chaos pulled off in the sense that if his timing is off, then he can soft lock the game.
You're basically moving to a room that's off screen.
Yeah.
Unlike the previous ones where we could just go below the current screen and go to the final room, this one's a bit more distant.
Alright, now we just pray that
Alright,
the
moment of
game
truth.
gets soft lock.
I believe.
Moment of truth.
Or do I?
I think I just
Or
shaded
do
it.
No,
you?
you're too confident. I don't know if you got it. Okay, you got it.
Oh.
Nice.
Just barely.
Very nice.
Alright, so I don't need that. I don't need that. Okay, cool. That was useless. Yeah, I can auto battle the first part, but I want to do the apple, the flower. Where are
You
the
want the
flowers?
flowers. It's the first one.
Nice. Okay, my luck is
You're
best.
already your best.
So we're gonna fight Lady Harkin.
Vegas, Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Vegas. Team Vegas.
Come, Conjo.
And this fight, no matter what, can only be done by Jack. If you have all 3 people for some reason, it will still be a solo fight. And if you don't have Jack in your party, you go to talk to her.
You
You'll
game
start
over
the
or
fight
something.
with no party members, and she'll do an attack and it'll be instant game.
18
Yeah.
game.
Well, the game blocks, I thought.
Game over.
No, I'm pretty sure you get a game over.
Yeah.
It might be different depending on what console you're running, because a lot of things that work on PS3 will freeze PS2 and PS1.
Alright, so now I'm going to cancel the auto battle so I can use the Sonic Vision force, which deals 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it times your stats by 3 without any cap, and also
Ignores
defense.
defense because it's a crit.
Yeah. So I'm going to defend here.
Yeah. Sonic Vision's always a crit.
Alright, and I hope I get another force up so I can just do Sonic Vision again. It did not happen. So I'm going to have to do another attack and then Sonic Vision and the battle will be over.
This strat was found by the task guy. There's a Japanese tasker that tasked this game and was able to avoid all encounters by opening the menu on the frame that you're meant to get the encounter, but because we're not psychic, we can't actually do that. Although we sometimes try.
Last time I tried it, I locked the game up.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time you guys found the outer battle was just because Lordo got into that encounter on the very last frame.
Yeah, Lordo was a runner that came pretty much as soon as I started taking this game seriously, and we kind of found a bunch of weird tricks, and there's a run called 80% Full Party where we keep every party member, and we use version 1.0 of the Japanese version because it has a glitch specific to it, where you can use the golem to enter the sea by opening the map and exiting the map, and if you're facing a beach, you actually enter the ocean. So he's going to get back into Wild Arms, and he's a big reason why this game's as broken as it is.
Yes, that's Lord of Ultima.
Yeah. So in case that wasn't quite clear from what we were just saying, basically, all versions of this game are quite broken.
Even the demo disc.
Even the demo disc, yes.
The demo disc, you can actually beat the full game with the demo disc.
Yeah, there's a special category called Be Good, which stands for Beat Game Using Demo. I made it up because I'm dumb. But I like that name. And basically you can beat the game because the full game, you go real far.
Yeah,
You're very risky.
I'm so dangerous.
And because the full game is on the disc and they just use arbitrary boundaries to prevent you from going through the full game, if you break out those bounds, you can just keep going. Although there's very specific glitches that you need to do to beat the demo, which is specific to the demo itself. Otherwise, the demo would be beatable. So it's very fortunate. I actually did a stream where I just tried to beat it, just going first try, and I discovered 2 glitches that actually let me beat the run. Otherwise, it would have been impossible. So that was convenient.
And the best is the ending. When you get the ending, it
Yes.
just shows.
Oh yeah, it shows a trailer.
It shows a trailer of people walking in the walls and stuff.
Yeah, the guy who made the trailer didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah,
so
he's like, hey, let's show this person walking into a corner.
Oh,
I like to think that he was trying to go out of bounds, but didn't know how to do it.
Nah.
he was like
just-
some PR guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never played this game before. What are you?
So we're gonna send Cecilia to the place where Kadingle will be. Kadingle is the second to last dungeon.
Yeah, the final 2 dungeons are sequenced together, so you have to get to the final dungeon by going through Kadingle. So
No.
that's the whole reason why we did Arthur Castle. Otherwise, this would never show up on the map.
So since Kadingle comes from the ground,
Raise your dingle.
raise your
Raise your
dingles because it
dingles.
comes from the ground. This is the part where we like to raise dingles, and this is a good time to read donations.
Yeah, because it's a cutscene that takes a little bit.
We don't have any donations, but I can tell you what we're.
Do you want to plug?
Huh?
Do you want to plug?
Yeah, I can plug NAMI. NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, was founded in 1979 as a grassroots organization focused on making better lives for those with mental illness. Through the use of education, advocacy, and research, NAMI aims to raise awareness of mental health issues and bring hope to those in need. During the event, we're encouraging you to donate directly to NAMI. By donating, you can vote with your wallet to name characters or get speedrunners to complete difficult challenges. You can also become eligible to win prizes donated by community members. Your donations will go to both the national organization and the Utah-based chapter of NAMI, supporting programs focused on teens and young adults.
Awesome.
Excellent.
That's very good.
It is
Yeah.
very good timing.
Yeah, right.
Cutscenes are pretty much
So-
just over.
It'll show Kadingle on the world map, but it's kind of funny because
Boom.
on the world
Well,
map
it's
is also
It's a
Cecilia at the bottom
I
left
froze for
over
a
there.
second.
She's just standing looking at it on the water.
Yeah, that's where I need to go.
Cecilia has float.
But first, we need to make a safety save before Boomerang, because it will most likely go horribly wrong.
So to safety save, we need. Oh crap!
It's too late. It's too late.
No,
it takes more
it's
time.
never too late.
It's probably close enough. Yeah. It's
Dang it! Alright, so
So now he has to use the golem to get back out of the mountains, because normally they're supposed to get here with a plane. P.S. We don't have a plane, so he needs to get the golem to punch him out of. Wow, what?
Might have been too far. Let's try that again.
He needs to get the golem to punch him back out of the mountains again.
So turn around.
yeah, I'm gonna try to do it almost like your match.
Try it. Might just get stuck in the crevice.
It's weird. Why is it doing that? All right.
No, the right goes.
Now I'm gonna go up.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
I wonder why we did it there.
You also notice that Jack has metal boots on.
Yeah, because we switched while Stone said the golem, it never registered that we exited, so it still plays the golem lock noise when we run around.
So I'm gonna try to get to Rosetta Town, and to do that, I'm gonna need to do a couple skips.
Yeah, Jack needs to go to Kadingo anyways for a trick that's coming up later. So it's just convenient that you can go there to safety save.
Right. I never get tired of watching
It's definitely
this.
the fastest way to
This
do
is
it.
amazing. Just bounces off the water.
Yeah.
Some heavy boots.
Yeah.
Iron
That was
boots.
staying over. Alright, so this fight, pretty much the only way I can die is by killing myself.
Yep.
Unless if we get some weird damage rolls with the spells. Basically, the only way we get a game over is if I die twice in a single turn, but it's very unlikely for that to happen, even though two people are attacking me.
Knock on wood, that happened.
What
with
can
Typhus.
happen is, oh, I think I messed up in practice.
You got 89 instead.
What's more likely is that I'll get angered or paralyzed or some other fun effect.
Sure, go dog.
So it's technically faster to use randomizer to kill this boss because it's more powerful than Saint, because Saint is cut in half by damage because demons are resistant to all elemental damage except Mother Fry. And we also want to kill Luciad because it's less likely I'll actually get a game over if Luciad's down.
So if he does get a good randomized spell, it'll do like upwards of 9,500 damage to
Basically,
both of
max
them.
damage to both, and Luciad can only take 2 of those before he dies. So,
So-
only need to do 2 randomizers successfully. It's called anger.
I thought we do tech.
Oh yeah.
Nice sleep.
Good thing I'm
So
asleep.
we can't sleep on ourselves.
So this is what you don't want to do.
Largely
for
reference. Largely won't kill you though.
Yeah, this will kill me.
Yeah,
Might
that's
wake
fine.
me up. Wake me up.
No.
Good thing you can equip while asleep.
Yeah, about
That
that.
one
That won't kill me. So what happened here is I didn't cast Protect, so there's a spell Lucia can do, which will kill me. I do die, right? And if he does that and Boomerang kills me at the same turn, it's game over.
It's called Purple Electric Revives. And yeah,
That's
there it is.
that
That's
one.
the bane of my
So
existence.
without Protect, it does that much damage.
And usually before that,
But with Protect,
okay,
it will do less.
if you go for
So that was my demo of how this fight can go horribly.
there you go.
All according to plan.
So this
About
is the,
dying.
This is the fight that usually runs at the beginning because.
Oh, that might actually. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, because my max house is
Oh,
230.
Spark.
Oh, that's gonna last the entire fight.
That's that effect.
Nice
Oh wait, no, it
language.
doesn't. Maybe if I died, it fixes it.
Alright, so that we got a spell that hits everyone, but it wasn't a very good spell.
Yeah. Because my vitality is pretty much maxed, whenever I get revived by the Gotel, I'll get all my health back. And because Purple Electric only does 150 damage, as long as I'm at max health, it won't kill me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And so if you're really unlucky, you'll get a lot of spells that don't do damage.
They don't do anything at all.
So
I think I'll
this
add
is
here.
interesting. I may actually
I might die.
no, okay, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
If he
wow.
did, if
You
he
have
did
to
see
get
more
magic
attack, he'll
back.
die.
You save him first, huh?
Yeah.
So now
Lucid usually goes after Boomerang, but enemy speed is somewhat random every turn, so it kind of rolls when they'll go every time.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, oh.
he does
You gotta die at least one out.
Yeah. You live?
It's already over.
All right, that was
You're
That's
dead.
how we get a game over. But luckily, we saved his life.
yes. That was just a dumb
That was-
fight based on nothing, everything out of our control.
That was very bad luck because the 3 randomizer rules he did, I think, were all like COD tier spells.
So you might be thinking, why does he use randomizer? But because Lucy and Boomerang can kill you, and if you're using Saint, it'll take a lot more time to kill Boomerang using Saint than if Boom or randomizer actually goes well.
Yeah, shit.
So we kind of hope for the best,
Oh, there we go.
and hope for the best luck. And this is the only time we have to use randomizer, so fear not.
Yeah.
And luckily this cutscene's pretty short.
It's the only time in the marathon route. If they were doing any percent, you basically go through this entire last portion with randomizer.
Yep.
So that 15% chance cumulative is suddenly something that is an active thing now.
Right. Protea.
Vegas,
What is that?
I don't know.
Vegas.
Rage, I think. Yeah.
Rage, okay.
There's only 2 spells.
So lock state ignore, or not lock state. 0 armor attack ignores armor.
But because we use protect, that won't
Yeah, you're fine.
kill me.
Okay, now it's time for anger.
Okay,
Mega-
that's a B-level spell which does times 80 sorcery, so max damage by fire.
All I need is one more to kill Lucade now, and then it becomes a relatively easy battle.
So this is more ideal.
Why the heck is she going first so much?
It's weird. So this is a bad damage range beyond,
Okay.
but that's a A-level spell, so it does times 20 damage, which will also do max. So Lucia's down, so I no longer have to use randomizer, and I no longer have a chance of, well, dying permanently.
As long as you don't forget something
And as
catastrophic.
long as I don't mess up, and do not.
We have just under enough to do
Yeah.
teamwork.
And I have enough, where's Saint? That's right there. And 2 Saints will kill him. And it takes 15 MP,
Oh, nice.
so I have just enough to kill him. So, second try boomerang. About what I would hope for.
Yep.
I was hoping there would be no boomerang infinite.
There we go. So that's Boomerang, he's done. And all the rest of the bosses are basically walks through the park.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll
But the final boss is really us going out of bounds and going where we need to now. But
yeah, I'll switch you right away and
get
save.
over here. I'll save after this.
I can switch and save and come over.
Okay.
Just in case things go wrong somehow. And we want to save just so that we can guarantee that we never have to fight Boomerang again.
Yes.
Because there's a few tricks that aren't particularly difficult coming up, but if we mess it up, we'll have to reset.
In a couple minutes, I'll show you why he's aptly named Boomerang.
Oh, good.
So I should save here.
We should maybe donations, and if every single time one of us made a pun, we have to donate $1.
I don't think there's been too many times.
No.
No.
We've been very serious.
Yes, this is
Yeah,
very
this
serious.
is the least amount of
Oh,
jokes
yeah, we
I've
have to
seen.
do that. I keep forgetting about the camera
So
switch.
you want me to go there first?
Yeah. And now I set up my camera switch, and we can set up yours. And assume anything went wrong. So I'm gonna be moving to the second last room because we will both be doing that because Jack needs to go to Mount Duke to set up a later trick, and I'll have to fight a boss at the end of this dungeon to complete the trick. I wonder if I can see the shadow. There we go. Okay.
So he's gonna go there to set up the being right before the
Yeah,
boss.
it looked like I was in the same room with my shadow, but I'm actually in a different XY position. We're doing a lot of dumb swag stuff. I'm not showing us where it's going.
So we got the Saber Fang, and this is why he's called Boomerang. I'll be back.
Because he returns.
He returns like a boomerang.
That he's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So he's going to be doing the same trick here, except he's going to be moving a bit more up. And he has a weird timing.
I'll just try to roll one more time. Oh, yeah. I guess so.
And he wants to be past the boss that I'm going to fight because he wants to go to the next dungeon without fighting him. Without fighting the boss gets force power for Jack, which gets Hollow Man. And if Cecilia gets Hollow Man, she recruits Jack. And we want to reunite the two parties for the final two bosses. The final three bosses. Yeah, let's do it.
Because if you save it, I'm
Yeah,
In the wrong spot.
It's all bad.
okay. So now I'm gonna go up the dimensional elevator.
So he's basically doing this to set his position to Malduke. When we're doing the trick later on, it's gonna set Jack's position to his last known dungeon. So it'll set him to Malduke, but in a position that is in the final rooms. That we'll explain that more when we get to it.
Yeah,
We're still
after
possible.
Alhazad, we'll be doing something with Cecilia that will.
If there's any donations, we can read it.
Yeah, we're just flying up the dimensional elevator right now.
And during the boss fight, it's pretty.
There's a $10 donation from Zagomio. No comment. But
Thank you.
Thank you.
plug the marathon. RPG Limit Break is a charity speedrunning marathon being held in Salt Lake City, Utah. Speedrunners from across the US, Canada, and Australia have gathered to crush role-playing games and support charity. RPG Limit Break is partnered with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, a US-based charity which advocates for the mentally ill and provides support services for individuals and families living with mental illness. We also have several awesome and unique t-shirts available courtesy of theyeti.com. That's
Try a couple times.
THEYETEE.com. $3 of each shirt sold will go directly to Nami. Check them out at www.theyeti.com/RPG-Limit-Break.
So this boss, he's gonna cast Saint 3 times and it'll do 9,999 damage. This boss has 30,000 HP, which we have to force an extra turn just to deal like 3 or 4 more damage. So for the 4th turn, we're gonna have a little fun with it and try to have Cecilia deal a crit and punch him out.
Yeah, she'll have a 1 in 4 chance of doing a crit. And because they ignores defense, she'll actually be able to do damage to it, despite not having any strength.
And she has no weapon on, so she will be punching the face.
For their true courage punch. So, 1 more Saint after this, and then we'll try to punch him out. Looks kind of more like a head, but it's
Yeah.
not a punch. It's only because her head's like a million times bigger than anything else. No.
Super translate to make it crash. Alright, let's see if the courage punch works.
Come on. No.
No.
We'll try. Oh no, against the
Can you slow down?
Maybe. He must have sleep. I must do awake for some reason.
I think he does. I think so.
I saw it once.
So he lowered us by his. Courage punch was not meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see it in the final fight, anyways. So we gave 2 tries. 1 for 2 tries.
Yeah.
So after this fight, we get the force power in Hollow Man.
So
And-
since it's a Jack force power and Jack isn't in Cecilia's current party, it forces Hollow Man into the party, and also forces Jack into the party. So we'll have Jack, Cecilia, and Hollow Man. And what we'll do is go out of bounds with Cecilia. We go out of bounds with Cecilia and go to the XY position we need to be in Malduke to be able to get to the last room in Malduke to be able to fight the last boss. Sis. Alright, ready for fast switching.
Okay. Okay, now let's switch to Jack. Now
I
we
equip the room
now let's switch
to Jack.
And if this is right,
We should
we
be.
should be in the final room. Or Okay.
Okay. we
That was
did
the
it.
last trick we need to do, so it's all
Yeah.
bosses now. So it's effectively as long as the game doesn't crash. The run will be completed. Yay.
Yeah, so that trick isn't performed in any percent, because in any percent, Cecilia does this entire dungeon by herself.
Yeah, but
So-
it's really inconsistent
Yeah.
for a
Is
marathon.
there anything else?
I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, because in the 80% route, to give you an idea, as we mentioned beforehand, all the bosses are fought with randomizer, so...
Yeah, Mother Fried's the only one that we don't fight with randomizer.
yeah, so
She has a chance of
obviously
paralyzing
they can't afford to really do that on the marathon, so this is the marathon safe route. It
I
just
can
requires a few more execution tricks for it to work.
Yeah, the only thing that can kind of end the run is Lock State has to wear off early, and Paralyze has to work on both Jack and Cecilia, which is really low chances. Which
It's
is,
alright, I pre-rolled our 0.078% chance.
Yeah, it's basically
It's fine.
0.007% chance of every condition being met for that to end the run, so it should be okay. Oh, nice.
Ooh, the crits.
And yeah, we can.
How much HP does he have?
He has 30.
So we do 3 randomizer in a single. So around 30,000.
Yeah, he has 30,000. Then the boss after has 43,000. Then the final boss has 49,292. Which is a very weird number. So every turn we're doing about 6,000 to 7,000 damage. So if anyone's good at math, you can figure out how many turns it'll take. And we're still doing the co-op run, so I'm controlling Cecilia and
I'm handling Jack's attacks
And since Jack goes first, he's also handling the re-equip of Goat Dolls.
because I become useless for the
So,
last battle.
I
Because
can blame him if any Goat Dolls don't get
that's
re-equipped.
right.
Spoilers, something happened in practice.
Oh yeah,
Chaos
That
does not take responsibility.
that was practice. There we go. So Zeke down.
So 103 are down. We're that much closer to finishing this.
I will not give up my body.
Then he just face plants himself.
And we also met the ACE donation incentive, so we'll be showing off
Yes.
about an 8-minute version of the ACE run, where we'll be doing the final 8 minutes of the run. Which is basically, well, you'll see.
Yeah.
Don't want to ruin the surprise.
Well, I'll precursor it by saying that if you thought the tricks that we pulled off so far for this run were basically completely out of this world, let's just say the Ace run is even crazier.
Yeah, the world record for no ace is 138, which is the category you're watching now, which we kind of share the 138. I have like the 138, 28.
28.
You have 138.27. I have 138.29.
Yeah.
And the ace record is held by Sephiros, and I think it's 51.
5107.
51
5106, 5107.
And I have 5111, so I have to do that eventually. And Sephiros and the Skullbot are the other major runners of the ace category. And yeah, you've run it a bit too.
Yeah, I have a terrible time, and I plan on correcting that in
Because it requires a lot of mashing, and Anchor is not a fan of.
And there's a very low chance of her casting Aus Magna like that.
Like that.
And paralyzing both of us, which would end the run. But I cast Lock State to prevent that from happening.
Crits, baby.
Nice. And because Aus Magna... Oh, wait.
Of course.
Aus Magna doesn't do any damage, so you don't have to worry about dying for that turn, so no go does there. This,
this
does
one-
a bit more damage.
I think you'll be fine. I think I did.
It's a magic attack, so I have more resistance, so I'll survive it, but Jack needs to
Where are the
re-equip.
crits? Oh,
Your luck might have actually dropped between things.
it's courage or injury.
Sure, not for strength. Sure. Why not?
all that extra bit.
I just want some more courage.
All that
The
extra
cool thing
bit.
about not having to use randomizer on this fight for no ace is that every time you die after a battle ends, your luck has a chance of dropping. So this is the only fight that's in sequence with another fight. So if we had to use randomizer on this fight, we could potentially have to use randomizer without best luck. But very conveniently, let's use this.
The luck changes is actually quite
It'll be next turn. She's
a
dead.
recurring
Yeah.
mechanic in other Wild Arms games too.
No.
I believe there's actually a chance for the
You'll-
luck to change when you
Oh,
level up, which means that because they're so low leveled, if they were trying to do this in other Wild Arms games, and you could potentially go out of bounds and whatnot, you would have to worry
Wouldn't
about a lot.
suck if that. Okay. We were kind of. Nah, we were fine. We knew that would kill, but if that didn't kill and she cast Alice Magna, it might have been
This was very
some
small
bad
percent.
news. Yeah.
But
We don't cast
Stop
Lock
being
Stage
bad
the
at
regular
counting,
run.
please, Chaos.
Because we never actually get paralyzed by Alice Magna because the chances are so low that we don't cast Status Lock in the regular run anyways. And there's one more fight, which if you've never played this game before, this might look like the end, but
it's not
there's
the end.
one more ambush.
You get to fight in the dimensional elevator.
What do you mean it's not the end? Didn't
first
we
there's a
save
really
the
annoying noise
world?
here.
Wait, we
Question
did-
mark?
Hey, turn up your headphones.
Yeah, there's a good noise coming up.
This is a great noise.
Well, this noise isn't bad, it's like a harp. And since technically we're still on Jack as the character, he's doing all the mashing through the text because I am Cecilia.
It's alright. Chaos will carry the team.
You guys just not
Yeah,
advance
this
the
noise
text,
is
not
noisy.
advance the text boxes so we can listen to this for a while.
Oh no, I had to mention he's gone rogue.
That's right. What are we at right now, Versentia?
155.05.
We should meet the time with a good seat to buy.
Yeah.
How about we just leave this on for another 5 minutes and then quit the run? Oh man, that was loud.
Yeah,
That
it's
works.
the worst noise. I don't know
Goodness gracious.
who chose this noise and why does it last so long.
You got it from the start.
Like if you're actually playing the game, you have to actually read all that text too.
Yeah.
That sound effect.
I don't really notice it anymore. I guess we've done a bunch of runs of it,
Yeah, I
but
just listen to my own music so I don't actually hear anything from this game.
Alright, Chaos, you're gonna take us home.
Alright,
Maybe
Chaos
this
carry.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I'm gonna do it dangerously.
Please don't pull a Lord out.
Oh, don't do it. No, there's pits. Something bad. No, okay. Don't be crazy. Okay.
We both have
So
good.
we're all set up? Yeah. And there's one last thing we have to do.
So now we can go home to our families. Not like Cecilia cares because she sees her family once every 10 years, then inflates herself, and then that's about it. Oh wait, he's back from hell.
Who could have
Who could it be?
Literally, he's back from hell. Let's say it in a second.
Steven Chocobo.
That would have been amazing if this was Boomerang, but it's
Don't
not.
think you're getting out that easy. We're not done yet.
Vegas.
Vegas.
Then you get absorbed within Mother. I ditched Mother and return from hell within
Like
30
alternate
seconds.
Banjo-Kazooie partnership. Vegas and Kanjo.
Pegs again.
Yeah, we good.
All right,
So,
so
first turn I'm
Awaken.
casting Awaken so that he doesn't put us to sleep, which he just want to do. Next turn I'm going to cast Rage, or what's it called? Randomizer? Or what? I can't even remember what's
Vegas.
called. Is it called
Rage?
Vegas?
Rage go
I'm going
Vegas.
to call
See, so that's
cast
why
Vegas is
on
going to count
Kanjo.
past Vegas.
So that's why we use Awaken, because the sleep status will never affect us.
Oh, yeah. And Kanjo has become the Vegas.
Yes,
He cannot
we
escape.
just plume Jack.
So every turn his attack power will be raised by 10%,
Yeah.
so he'll just keep doing more and more damage.
Except he's berserk now, so Anchor is effectively no longer has to put any commands in. He's on auto battle.
No, I do equipment and then
If
that's
you do
it.
equipment.
Ah,
What do you do?
I forget.
Chaos carry.
I hit X once and then you take over. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that Jack doesn't have a turn, so I'll sometimes do a regular turn as well.
So Jack's dead. I'm gonna have to re-equip the goat doll.
So co-op run to the end.
Oh, yeah, we're doing a true co-op.
And the reason we want 2 people for this fight is that he has a chance of using high heal, which will heal max 999.
Yeah.
All of the 9s. And then, but by having 2 people, we can kind of have it so that we're doing more than 999 eventually every turn, so even if he spams high heal, we'll still be able to kill him. And if Cecilia was alone, we'd either have to resort to Randomizer or just cast Saint, which only does half the damage that we need for each turn.
So this time to Cecilia, we have to just take a turn to.
Yeah, she has to use a Violet Rose on herself.
We bought those a lot earlier, by the
Yeah, we
way.
buy
This
them
is
just
the
in
this is the
case.
main reason why we buy them.
Yeah, this is the only reason why we need them. We buy them in the actual run too because getting silenced.
Oh.
So yeah,
Trolls
he's-
win.
That's a great healing noise.
You'll
too.
eventually run out of MP, but that takes a really long time.
20 minutes.
Fatal blow, even if it doesn't deal max damage to you, it can kill you just for fun.
And yeah, this fight basically becomes Spam Saint. And the actual run, you're casting randomizer every turn, so it's exciting every time. And
It's exciting
now we're
every
pretty
time.
much doing more than 9999 every turn, so
That was a great crit.
it doesn't matter what high heal does. Relatively.
It'll be nice for him not to cast it, just so it's faster.
Crit. Oh,
Yeah. Fast
Go
is
crit.
good.
oh, dang, he's still doing a lot.
Yeah, because crit only ignores defense, so it's still doing a lot anyways. I keep forgetting Jack has another turn. This is probably why we have a bit more time than usual, because of the co-op.
And time.
And that's 1:59:35.
Whoa!
Nice.
Okay.
26 seconds.
When you said 1, I was like, oh crap. Okay, underestimate.
Wow, we barely made the time.
Barely made it.
But you made it.
That's right.
Nicely done.
Alright.
Thank you.
And we won't watch the ending because we still have.
We have the Ace Showcase.
So Chaos will take over the ace part. This will not be co-op.
Yeah, Anchor and I will like let's do some explaining behind.
So we already have a. Oh, you want to put the memory card in?
I think that might be important.
We have a pre-saved file that takes us basically to the part where all we have to do is go to Mountain Pass and mash apples.
Yeah, so basically the main difference in the Ace route and the 90% Ace route, which you saw just now, is that in the Ace route, what Chaos is going to do is he's going to basically program with apples and effectively change the game's memory to warp to the ending. So this file he has prepared ahead of time, and the only portions you're not seeing is basically the 3 prologues at the very beginning of the game, because prologues suck, we can't skip them. So the only thing I think that might be even different is like you pick up some items or something that may be different from the
Yeah, I'll
80%
show off the
route.
differences slightly.
Yeah.
The only thing I can't show is the spell names, which is essentially the code that will be run.
So what
We have a bunch of apples here,
Yeah.
and we'll be using all of them.
So
and we also
all
have
hail our Apple
some
overlords.
items set here. This will basically, the code will go here, and it will. This basically points it to the spell list, which will have the rest of the code that needs to run to get to.
Yeah, so what we did to prep the spell is he's talking about the spells. We binded some spells, and then we named them really weird things, and then we dissolved them, and then another one we renamed and then dissolved it, and that set what we needed to do for this. So now he's gonna. Oh yeah,
He needs to go
he's
to
gonna he's gonna do the guard skip in the mountain pass to get Rudy to get the lighter and force Hollow Man into the party.
This is basically right after Lilithia's Tomb, and in the regular one we did this part to do the Hollow World Warp, but we'll be doing.
But we also don't do the Bell Silk skip. We
Yeah.
have no need to do the fair or anything.
because
We
we
just
don't
go.
need Cecilia.
We go straight after the Lilithia's Tomb.
All right, just gotta not mess this up. Oh, God, Jesus, this guy. Oh no. Oh, he was gonna block
the,
me
the
twice.
NPC trolls.
Yes.
That should be good. That should be
Alright, so as a little for fun thing, I have an apple, and we are approaching the end of the Wild
Okay, I
Arms
have to mash so much.
part of the marathon. So, because Chaos has to program with apples, I will be eating this apple at the exact same time. Let's see if he mashes faster, if I eat faster. And if I fail to beat him at mashing, I will donate an additional $10.
Body.
So I hope you're ready, Chaos, to
So,
mash.
so here's Hollow Man in the party again. Okay.
Yes.
We unequip the body, which
Set this to normal.
yeah,
So nothing bad happens.
in most circumstances, when you unequip the body, and then you try to do anything else in the game besides
Alright,
menuing,
let's go.
the game will freeze. So it's really important that he starts mashing power apples first. I don't know the reason, but it is important, or else this won't work.
It doesn't count the first apple you use, I think, is the reason. So we
Okay.
have one extra power apple just to use it.
So he's gonna mash all these apples that you see on screen. So it's a lot of mashing, and he doesn't even take breaks like I do.
No, it makes my job harder.
So he's gonna mash all these apples, and once he's done mashing apples, we're gonna. You didn't put Jack in there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
We reload the save.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is put Jack in a position on Filgaia, the world map, and he's gonna get into a battle. And in that battle, the monster will spawn and kind of warp up, but it'll stay in a shrunken state. And while it's in that shrunken state, we can defeat it. And once we beat it, you'll see what happens after that. We'll switch to Rudy and something happens. That's further down the
Once
road.
we're done all these.
We gotta mash apples.
This is why this run is terrible. Well, one of the many reasons.
Oh wait, yeah, you did have it in the right spot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
We're all good. I practice this a few times just to make sure nothing horrible goes on. Because if you do anything slightly off, it'll obviously...
Yeah,
Since we're messing with the game a lot more than we should, if anything is slightly off, it'll just freeze and not work how we want.
Sounds good.
so
He's
one
knocking too fast.
to show how delicate this ace run is, I tried doing a run I was making a good time on. I did one extra Mystic Apple that was in my inventory that I didn't need to do, just one Mystic Apple, and it completely derailed the whole thing. So any one thing that you're off, whether it be a slot that you're off, whether it be naming a spell that you're off, or just any little thing, you cannot further the run at all. You can, but you'll soft lock whenever you start the battle with Jack.
Alright.
So previously in the save, we put Jack in a position on Filgaia where his X position is in a certain spot. Whenever he's done mashing this last apple, I think.
Alright, Chaos wins.
So Chaos won, and we're gonna load the save.
Yeah, even though we load the save, the code has still been modified, so... just load the save. I'm going to be switching to Jack, and basically what happens when the battle starts, it'll run some custom code that we wrote using spell names that will set Rudy's position to something else.
So
I'm
we
sure
need
if we already said it.
we need to make sure that he's in this X position. He can go up and down as much as he wants, but he really needs to stay in this X
Yeah, if I
position.
move horizontally at all, it won't work, so I'm being very careful not to do that.
So once he starts the battle, if
Alright.
everything went well, the enemy will spawn, but in a shrunken
Okay.
state, and we will
Got
fight.
This is the final boss.
Find the boss.
He will meow at us, and then we'll kill him, and then we'll switch to Rudy.
And this is why the ace run is like 40 minutes faster. Wrong button. There we go. And we are
And done!
So in reality, that'd be at the end of like 45 minutes.
Yes.
But,
This is the most amazing game ever.
So this is the ending cutscene. It would have shown itself right after we beat Zeke 2 whenever we finished our no ace run. So yeah,
So I will donate it in
Those are the
$10.
two ways you can beat the game.
Because
if you don't
Chaos
play it a
is
lot.
the king of mashing.
so yeah, that's
Well, at least enjoy your apples.
So yeah, the ace run takes 51 minutes is the record, and no ace takes 138. So considering how much extra we do, it's not as much time as you might think. But yeah, the only way to get sub 1 is to do ace. So
It's
it's
basically
very cool that power of the power of the power of the power of the. He was the one that looked into it, and he's the one that wrote all the code and disassembled the game and
yeah. There used to be
did
an
everything.
There used
No
to
one
be
knew anything else other than him. I kind of found some weird stuff. I didn't actually know how the game worked, and he kind of found out everything after that.
Did
So the only reason the ace route exists is because of the power of the power of the power of the. Go on.
Sorry, I was gonna say there used to be an old version of the route that power design that used even more apples. So if he had done the old route, I might have won. But the new route uses significantly
Yeah,
less
the
in
old
favor
route
of spell
used,
chasing.
like, I
Earth
don't know,
Golem
3 to
stop.
5,000 apples. I can't remember. It was
Yeah,
dumb.
it's something silly.
And
poor Golem.
the best time for that was 109 because I did one run and never did it again because it was dumb. But it could have been sub 1, but luckily.
Yeah.
Power
Chaos, the
rewrote it.
master, king of master.
But that's it for the Wild Arms, and we're going to be moving on to the Lunar.
Thank
Lunar,
you, thank you,
Lunar 2
Apple.
with high spirits.
Wherever he is.
Have all
That sounds right.
have all Lunar's things been met? The bromides has that been met yet?
And thanks to High Spirits for letting us borrow his PS2 for this because
Yes.
my PS3 broke literally on a practice run earlier today. Then we tried to use his PS2 and it also didn't work at first.
So he
So,
took a great
he
risk
saved
by
the
letting
day.
us use it. So
Yeah.
thank you, High
Now
Spirits.
he's going to save your day with Lunar
Lunar 2.
Lunar 2.
But has the bromides been met yet?
The bromides have not been met.
Yeah. So definitely want to get the bromides. That's definitely something that you want to donate for.
$206 out of $500. So if you want to see all
I
the
can't believe it
provides,
didn't crash.
I know, it didn't crash at all.
When the PS3
get
died, I was like,
donations
well,
in.
it's all over.
And that was
That was
the
Wild Arms.
Wild
Good job.
Arms.
Made it was
Very
so
interesting.
Thank you, Hollow Man. Thank you, Apples.
Oh, yeah.
We'll cut to
We
a
wait 15
commercial
minutes.
break, and then right after that we'll have Lunar 2.
I'm waiting. Where is
I
it?
put that.
So all we do is swap out the disc here. Good to go.
Hey, going great.
We're doing that right now, right?
We didn't make too many mistakes.
Yeah, no, I think
It's
that
just-
kind of
Oh, no. I love
That
that
was just
ice
one
one.
little thing, though.
It's like the best.
Yeah, I love that.
I guess PS2's load slower, so.
Okay.
Maybe.
I made a lot of mistakes and still got
Oh, I forgot about. Oh, go slime in here.
Is that one better than all my practice runs? I never got it
Yeah.
the first time.
I wonder why that was.
That's in here. Grab this.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, then my controller got over.
Hey, we'll
Oh,
have
yeah, one of your controllers.
we'll have a slime with us.
Yeah. Grab my controller.
Did ads get announced?
Maybe we did. Let me check. Yeah, they got it. Alright. On my computer now. Okay. Alright. Right now I'm just being really cautious not to. Don't want to spill. Fast. 2 is PS.
That's why I confused me. Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, don't you see the ending, I guess? Thanks again for letting us use your
No problem.
PS2. We didn't break it, I promise. Where's the
It'll work. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just press and hold.
Yep.
Okay. Then lit.
Word.
Yeah, I should grab something like that.
Don't call it help. Yeah, you're gonna play a game, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it. At least it's much warmer in here than it is out there, that's for sure.
No, it's still cold.
Yeah.
I got that fan blowing right on me.
Yeah. Feels nice in my opinion.
You can turn off the fan. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Chad.
I'm taking my jacket off, I promise.
Rip headphone users.
Alright, boys, we're in it for the long haul tonight.
Welcome to the night shift.
And the morning shift. And maybe the afternoon shift.
Alright, what do we got?
How bad are you expecting this to go?
We got a while to go.
We're gonna be here for a bit.
Yeah.
You don't mind if I move over so I can not leave mine on the floor, kick it into everything ever.
Is my mic-
I don't need that for a
Hold on
while,
to my
though.
coffee right here. This coffee is my life.
It's my life, it's my love.
No, it's just
It's
my
a-
lifeblood.
Okay.
Welcome back to early morning RPG Limit Break, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get started in just a little bit here with Lunar 2. I'm going to get a couple of quick donations out of the way with before we start. Have a $20 donation from Claire saying, "Shout out to Chaos from Claire and Dave via WinMouse." Also have a $5 donation from Kellum Rules. Hey, I'm watching too. Go EnkerBlues. Irk. Thank you very much for those donations. We're getting set up right now. We should be good to go in just a few minutes here.
Just the new game, that's it.
Trying to get my hands warm. It's cold out there.
Oh, come on.
You can always hold on to this for
How's
a
it
second.
looking?
It's really warm.
Need some help? Or
Well, I got 3 minutes to kill before I can start playing anyway.
Yeah, hold on to it if you want.
So I guess we got a question for the guy at Tech. How much work do you feel like doing?
Yeah, right.
Do you want to keep a death counter or a failed runaway counter?
Both.
Failed runaway counter.
That would keep you busy all night.
Yes,
Fail.
failed runaway counter is basically death counter, so just go with death. Just go with death.
You know how to do all this, right?
It's funny, isn't it?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hilarious,
Don't
I
do
think.
anything with that. Don't touch any of that.
No, the Zillia crew has
What are you doing?
basically got your back
Change
for
the
this.
change the scene.
When
What are
you
you
had
doing?
it.
Yeah, I had to take care of you guys all night, so.
Check what
Yeah.
scene it is.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
Nice Google Docs have everything you need. Look at that first.
I've already done this twice, so there we go. Now, do we have a death
You
counter?
should not be touching anything there.
We do have a
Change
big
choke.
choke counter.
Change
Okay,
that.
we
You
can
guys
use
are going to
that.
get me to cost me a lot of money then doing this, so doing both. So since we're doing both counters, Lunar 2 is not the most safest game. Generally, it's failing to run away over and over and over again throughout the entire game, which is what makes it random and fun.
Get my phone out for that, just in case.
Random
I
and
get-
fun. Those
Yes.
are
Great words to put together. So, I will donate $1 for every failed to run away and $10 for every party wipe throughout the run.
Oh boy, better keep track, folks.
Well, I was going to do more of one or the other, but since we're going to do both, I got to cut it in half.
No, unmute it.
I don't got that much
Scheme
money.
audio. I'm aware.
Tech station is starting to get a little testy over
Quit
there.
fighting, children. We haven't started yet. There's still 8 hours left.
don't burn all your energy just now. As a reminder, we still have one donation incentive for this run that has not yet been met. We have the Get the Bromides donation.
You want this?
That is
You
at
really want
$231 out of 500. So
Good news, though, is you have the entire game if you want, because I can't show off most of them or the good ones until we beat the game.
Yeah.
But I can collect a few throughout the game to tease you a little bit, but I can't really show them, and
Till we get there.
until we get there.
Alright, are we all ready?
Whenever,
We're good whenever you are.
let me know.
Or he's got a mix for our loud voices. He's got to unmeta signal
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
No, he's got a meta sigma us. Because everyone else is quiet. Now we're in meta sigma mode.
Meta mode.
Or at least I am.
Nobody's ever in Meta Sigma mode except for Meta Sigma.
Oh, I can get into meta sigma mode. That's fine.
Easy.
If he joins this chat in this room at any time, it's going to get loud.
Oh, I almost I saw him coming around the corner.
never mind on that one, it looks like.
Okay, who did it? I can guess, though. It probably starts with a J.
Yes, I believe there was a large donation from a J. Let me make sure that this went where I think it went.
Hi, Jano. I love you too.
Yes.
Please tell me the donation says something
Okay,
about SD guns.
so real quick, I'm going to read a pair of donations. We have a $25 donation from Cult. Already broke my budget, so why not donate even more? All the bromides, go high spirits. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We also have a $270 donation from
Whoa, PG.
Gino.
Gino.
High spirits, you really thought that $750 barrier would prevent you from singing? No effing way, man.
We beat that one hours ago. Catch up, dude.
And you're up to collect all bromides as well. P.S. You can get revenge on Civ 5 anytime.
Yeah, well,
2 smiley face eyeballs side by side.
I will beat you next time. I don't promise.
we can't promise anything.
I never said I was good
Except
at
for tears.
Civilization 5, okay? And we got beat up by the AI anyways. Well, whenever you're ready.
Just put on Raging Barbarians.
Hey, 3, 2, 1.